Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Welcome to the final week of eRacing GP Global Edition 18 here at the Dubai Autodrome, brought to you by Sunway Export, Royal Selangor, and of course Axel Sports. Now, as I was around during the first week, so shall I be here to bring you the final week. And I'm joined here today by Amir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Damon. How are you?
Doing all right. It's been a good month or so of pretty close racing. We've got big grids, 30 to 40 races every time, and it's been a hoot, absolute hoot to watch. And the standings also have also reflected them. I want to say chaos.
Yeah,
Chaos is the right word for it. The absolute mental chaos that has been going on throughout the entire race. But yes, as I mentioned before, this is the final race of the season. So we will be going, of course, with the copper class first, into the bronze class, and then the silver and gold multi-class race. Here are your championship leaders for today. We got Bima Surya in the lead for the copper class, Eric Satria in the lead for the bronze class, silver class with Denzel Wetan from the Philippines, and gold class, a very well established name, Muhammad Tasbih there from Singapore. Now, if we look at the standings here, team standings, we have Swift Sim Racing from the Philippines all the way up in first place with a commendable lead of about 63 points ahead of the second position of Velocity Pantera Downshift Racing. A bit further down that, 22 points down, is Handshake Sim Racing MY running out the top 3. And then for the rest of the top 10, JPRT, M92 Motorsport, Overme Esports, Papiga Racing Team, Entropy Motorsports, Racing Labs QRT, and Not Amigos Racing. Top 5 reasonably close to one another, so this race could mean a lot for these teams. And in the standings here, Indonesia actually very, very close to Malaysia, about 20 points, less than 20 points separating these two from the top of the standings here. So this race could be a big swing in either direction. A bit further behind, of course, is the Philippines running in P3 with 289 points, 110 points down. Thailand in P4, Singapore in P5, and then we have India, Sri Lanka, Brunei, Hong Kong, and Zimbabwe running down the top 10. Now, this is of course the final race of the season, and this time we are going to be at the Dubai Autodrome. So, very, very, I would say a pretty well-known track.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about it a lot. Probably not in the same way as the other tracks, but the track in front of you here, the Dubai Autodrome. I mean, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, I would say Dubai Autodrome is a very interesting track, definitely. Being raced here before in EC itself, because since we're racing here in EC, definitely I would say one of the highlights is elevation changes. You know, with the first turn going downhill really, really fast, and then in the middle sector, especially sector 2, where the drivers actually have to climb up quite a high, I would say, altitude as well, and then ending at the last corner going back down again. So definitely it's a very sweeping-ish kind of track, but with very wide spaces, and also, as you can see here, very long straight, giving a lot of overtaking opportunities for our drivers to do after this as well during the race.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, the elevation change is going to be a big factor in how these cars tackle the middle sector of the course. Conservation of momentum is going to be really, really important for these cars, especially in the cars that we will be taking on this track.
Yeah, so for our class today, as you can see on our screen, we have the Le Mans Hypercar in the Gold class, we have Le Mans Prototype 2 for Silver class, and we have the GT3 cars for Bronze class, and lastly we have the Copper class with their GT4 Porsche Caymans.
Yeah, so the Caymans are going to be all identical, so as previous races, it is going to be a matter of driver skill. This final race is going to be very important to see who can end up at the top of the Copper class and get that promotion. However, driver standings do paint a different picture. Bima Surya, that taking part in every single race, has scored very highly in almost all of them, is very, very far up the leaderboard right now. In first place, Neil Harris and Xavier Koo, tied for second. Ayrton Lau is down in fourth. Dodo Prasetya in fifth. Darian Zufar in sixth. Shazan Naufal Mizal in P7. Ezra Collin, P8. Adnan Sotkup in P9. And Muhammad Fatur Rahman in P10. However, we do have a drop round. So after factoring in the drop scores, it does look a little bit closer. Again, Darian Zufar and Neil Harris are still tied for P2. Bima Surya is about 30 points ahead, which isn't an insurmountable gap.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, if he can maintain a top 3 finish this time around, it's going to be curtains for him. Basically, he's going to lock down the championship. And of course, the other cars as well. Pretty close in terms of standings there. P4, the Dodo Prasetya, Ayrton Lau, Xavier Koo. And then we have 3 drivers tied for that P7 position, with Muhammad Fatur Rahman rounding out the top 10, 1 point behind the 33-pointers. And now we are here in the qualifying session. We are in view of Ayrton Lau right now. And Amir, how much experience do you have with the Caymans?
Well, actually, a team here, Handshakes Racing Malaysia, they actually hosted a GT3 race, I would say earlier this year, where I was driving a Mustang GT3 going through here. But definitely, I would say, not Mustang GT3, it's the McLaren going through here. And definitely, like I said, it's a very interesting track because one, I never knew it existed until this year. But definitely, like I said, the highlights for this track is the elevation changes. As you can see from the last corner here, it's a sweep right curve but going downhill as well. It's very, very important for the drivers to keep as much momentum as they can, but at the same time as well not to overshoot it, or they'll be out of the track, possibly invalidate their lap time as well. But now, as we can see, Ayrton Lau is attempting his qualification lap. Currently, he is placed in P3, P4 currently, as Seth took over P1 right now with a 205.912. Will Ayrton Lau be able to do so? Let's see if he will be able to get back his podium position from Xavier, or maybe even better from Bima as well.
Yeah, Bima Surya, they're doing a pretty strong qualifying time there, 206.1, only pipped by Seth there. It's going to be a pretty big call because, as you can see right now, the top 6 positions are within a second of each other, with Muhammad Fatur Rahman in P7 there. The rest of the cars are on their big qualifying laps right now, big flying laps. So it's going to be a matter of when Seth is going to be pipped from that top position. And as you can see on the track map in the top right corner there are a lot of cars on track. So qualifying is going to be a bit of a challenge, especially if you're one of the drivers that end up stuck in traffic, because you will get caught with dirty air. You're going to have to navigate traffic. You might not get the lines that you want to take. But on the flip side as well, if you're lucky enough to be in a position where you can get the draft from the car in front of you and still be clear of traffic, that pretty much gives you the best possible conditions to set a flying lap.
Yeah, currently we can see Ayrton Lau still trying his best to get over his best time, but currently he is 0.30, almost 0.4 seconds behind from his current time right now. So he is up to the, I would say, the last sector. This is the sector where it feels like a Zanbot reference of those carousel, of a carousel. Going through the last corner, a few last corners, as he is approaching the last corner, will he be able to pull off? Will he be able to get some time here? A bit slidey there, but still well within control. But it is not currently enough to put him in P3, but still currently stuck in P4 still.
Yeah, so unable to really make any headway in terms of the standings right there. Here you have the current leader, Seth Martin, about to cross the start-finish line. Let's see if he has improved on his lap time. Does not look like it. Another 2:05.9 is still the time to beat for everyone else here. Bima Surya is also trying, and we have about 3 minutes left of qualifying. So at best, these drivers have about 2 laps left in order to set their fastest time. Bima Surya here is somewhere approaching the middle sector of the course, so he does still have a bit of time in order to make it happen. You can see those wheels there, the brakes just heavy on the brakes as they're going up to the faster section.
Glowing hot, very, very glowing hot. But at the same time as well, if you see in front of Bima Surya, there's another car in front of him, so he may be able to use that car to his drafting advantage as they're approaching the straight now. Bima would definitely be really, really lucky if he can get that drop, but I think from this camera angle, most probably he is unable to do so. But I would say he has enough space to still get a good time. Currently, he is almost 0.2 seconds. Oh, he's 0.2 seconds fast, 0.3. He's getting faster and faster. Will he be able to overtake Seth Martin during qualifying, as we now have 2 minutes and 15 seconds left? Will Xavier Koo?
Nah, he went a bit wide on the exit there. He basically just decided that lap was not going to do it for him. So Bima Surya is done with his qualifying session. He will be starting P2 on the grid, so nothing lost there. Still do a pretty good start. And as long as he gets his launch right, he could end up at the front of the pack in almost no time flat. Meanwhile, we have Xavier Koo here again on another flying lap. And as you mentioned before, the elevation changes really do make it difficult for these drivers to really gauge how much speed they're able to carry through some of these corners, especially the last S sections before the final corner of the race. The first one is blind and banked.
Yes.
The first one is banked, the second one is blind. So it's a very, very peculiar set of challenges to navigate those final 2 S's. So you want to have the best line possible, and as he crosses the line right now, unfortunately 1/10 down on his best time, so he will not be able to make any headway. But Ayrton Lau there does seem to have managed to pip him just a bit. Got one good lap in there, now back up to P3, so he's going to be a pretty good spot. Meanwhile, the top 7 drivers there, we have Yogi, Neil Harris, and Muhammad Faturrahman, as well as Ezra Collin and Art and Joshua in the top 10. 1 minute left in qualifying, so we're going to have to see if anyone can ring out a split-second clincher there to get P1. Seth Martin here is still on another lap, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to do to improve on it because we're not getting the timers there. Maybe a lap that's invalidated somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe he cut the corner somewhere. So unfortunately, he won't be able to. Actually, maybe he's crossing the line now, so he definitely has one more lap.
Yeah, if he can pull it off, I think if Seth Martin can really pull it off, but judging by the amount of traffic in front of him right now, especially in Sector 1, he is going to face a bit of a challenge there, unless all the cars there will be very, very nice to him and give him way. But I highly doubt that, as they would like to secure their chances as well, to get P1. But now, as we can see, Seth Martin is attempting his best, probably his final chance to improve his time. For currently, he is the fastest with 2:05.912. Will he be able to do better? We'll see later. But now the camera shifts to Bima Surya, which also I think has one more chance.
Yeah,
to do one more lap.
He just passed the start finish straight on his outlap, so now he has one chance to make it happen. Meanwhile, you can see the track there. All the driver icons have turned orange. That means they have this is their final lap. They won't be able to set any more times after this, so they have to make it count. And you can see already 2 drivers there, Satria and Oscar, calling it. They're going to be starting in P11 and P14 respectively. So Ayrton Lau here crossing the line. Unfortunately, 2:10. Oh, he does make it up. Yeah, he does make it up.
Yeah.
2/10s up on his previous best lap. So he's going to pit Bima Surya for that top 2 spot. Seth Martin there still pretty comfortably in ahead of everyone else. We'll see if he manages to make it count near the final stretches of the lap. Bima Surya there, unfortunately, was not able to make anything happen. Will be starting in P3 this time around, but still a pretty commendable position. Meanwhile, Muhammad Faturrahman jumped up from P7 to P4 with a quick 206.2. So let's see here. Seth Martin, this is the driver we're going to be looking out for this time around. He is first place in qualifying. It's all up to whether or not he'll be able to maintain the same pace during the actual race himself. Rounding the final corner here, let's see. He sagged it. He sagged it. He went too wide there.
It's the last corner. That last corner really encourages you to go fast, but if you really push it too much, you will definitely invalidate yourself. I would say that's one of the interesting points about Dubai Autodrome. It's a very flowy track. It really encourages you to be as flowy as you can, but if you push it too hard, you're going to be outside and you're going to definitely invalidate your lap as well. As now we can see Neil Harris with the Persona 3 Aegis livery on the car going through and still keeping it at P6. Yeah, only by 0.027 seconds away from his personal best.
Yeah, good run from Neil Harris there. Unfortunately, won't make it to the top 5, but regardless, still a pretty good result for him otherwise. So now all the drivers are going to be in the pit lane, getting ready for the race start. So your top 3 right now. Seth Martin in P1, 205.9. Ayrton Lau behind him, 2 tenths down. And Bima Surya in the top 3 spots, 206.1. Mohamed Fatur Rahman, we have Lou, Neil Harris, Xavier Koo, Yogi, Ezra, and Art rounding up the top 10. So, important things to note. Race starts are always going to be a special situation, of course, even more so with how many drivers are on the grid right now. So, turn 1 is relatively fast compared to most other courses turn 1. So, might not really see too much chaos. Touch wood.
Touch wood.
Crossed, yeah.
We're touching wood right now.
We're gonna have to make sure that doesn't happen. But faster flowing corners tend to usually end up in a much better position, especially this entire first sector. There, first sector is super fast compared to most tracks.
True. I would say the real challenge comes into the beginning or the end of sector 2, where that's where all the S's and all the elevation changes is going to happen. That's where the drivers can either use the blind spots or even the elevation changes to their own advantage. Even just force the other drivers to make a mistake going uphill there. But I'll be honest, Damon, I do want to see some chaos because this is the copper class. I even raced in one of the rounds with them, and definitely it's a chaos, especially with the with RBR last week. Definitely a chaos, and I'll be honest, I do want to see a bit more chaos as well today. It's fun. It's fun of racing.
Yeah, it definitely is, and this is of course copper class, which means it's a good starting point for racers that really want to sort of like get familiar with competition, improve their racecraft to go with it, and be able to push these cars to the absolute limit here. And with a car like the GT4 Cayman, it's a lot easier to push to the ragged edge compared to some of the other cars we will be seeing tonight. So your grid here, Seth Martin here, at the start-finish straight, on the start-finish line, right in P1, Ayrton Lau right next to him. So they have a very, very long stretch before the first corner. I'm going to be looking to see how the launch is for these drivers, because the launch is going to be so important, especially because of how long the start-finish straight is and how much speed you can gain before you hit turn 1.
True.
If you have a bad launch, that's it. You're at the back of the pack immediately.
Agree. Very, very much agree. And I would like to see who would be the bravest one to take turn 1, with full-on bravery, because it's not a flat turn. It is a downhill. Now we have 10 seconds left. The race is about to start. The drivers are going to get ready. The lights are on, and let's see, away we go. Now Seth Martin is leading the lap, getting a very quite good launch as well, followed by Ayrton Lau and Bima on P3 right now. Currently, they're doing well on there, and they are almost approaching turn 1. Will anything happen during this turn 1? Seth is still leading with Ayrton and Bima as well. Oh, whoa, what a break. That's a very brave move by Bima there right now.
Yeah, he braked super late there. Fatur Rahman ended up not... I think he braked late just to match Bima Surya, but he wasn't expecting Bima to just dive into the middle of the two cars right there and then ended up losing traction on the entry. So he got psyched out of it, and now he's all the way back down in P13. Meanwhile, Bima Surya, the brave man entering turn 1 at max speed, almost drifting the car in there, is now up in P2 ahead of Seth Martin. We have Art Nomsotku in P6 right now, making his way up the field rather slowly and steadily, but doing very good so far. Meanwhile, the cars in front are Neil Harris, Lou, and Seth. About a second is separating 6th and 4th. Meanwhile, Joshua Chin here behind, being basically front and tail back, blocked by Ezra and Yogi makes a move on the inside here as they get out of the back straight. Ooh, very deep dive into the corner is Yogi Masaji, forcing the other two cars wide there. He's going to end up taking that position away of Ezra Collin, and now they're going to have to see whether or not they can take that position back, because it is going to be really easy to lose them if you end up taking these S's wrong.
Wow, a lot of close call collisions here. The cars, well, this is lap 1. Everyone is expected to be as close as to each other right now. A lot of shifting has happened. Now Joshua is chasing the tail of Ezra Collin, going to the uphill section of the sector 3. Will anything happen here? Ezra being very, very safe, keeping himself in control. Joshua as well, keeping himself very, very much in control, keeping his position, keeping his speed as much as he can. Now going through the last corner here. This is where momentum is very, very important. Will Joshua be able to pull off a good momentum to chase Ezra Collin here? So far, it is still the same. The distance is not changing at all.
Yeah, he went really hard on the brakes at the start of final corner. I wonder if that may have messed up his exit a little bit. He was trying to keep it tight. Didn't want to overspeed that final corner and go wide there. So a bit difficult for him to try to make a move there. Meanwhile, Dodo Prasetya here is sandwiched in between two cars. We have Oscar and Shazan right next to him. Entering turn 1, Shazan goes a bit too hard on the entry there and loses a lot of exit speed. So Dodo Prasetya goes up into P12 right behind Oscar. Meanwhile, Ayrton Lauder taking the lead away from Seth Martin. He is about a second ahead of Bima Surya, so we'll have to see if Bima Surya will be able to make up that gap right now. Lu Chu Han going very, very wide there. Neil Harris takes that position away from him, and it looks like he's about to lose. Oh no, he takes it back away from Neil Harris. Very, very tight on the inside there as they enter into the back straight. These cars are pulling alongside side by side. They won't be able to really benefit from drafting each other, but the car right behind them, driven by Art, is going to be able to going wide there to see if he can make a dive into the next right-hander here. He's going for it, brakes about the same time. See if he can make the corner. Yes, he does, but he overshoots the exit.
And a switchback happened. Beautiful, beautiful drive there by Neil Harris. And we almost a bit of a collision back there. Who is that? It's Ezra Collin losing his control and losing a bit of a position there just now. And now we're seeing Art fighting against Lu Chun Han, flashing his lights, telling him, hey, I'm here, I'm going to overtake you right now. And he's trying to find space, forcing him to make a mistake. He's attempting to overtake from the outside. Will he be able to do so? He's keeping it, but he is unable to go. I'm saying too early. He's keeping it on the inside right now, going back on the outside. A lot of switchbacks is happening between Art and Lu. Will anything happen on the last corner here? So far, so good. So far, they're keeping it very, very close. Art is being very, very feisty against Lu just now in the beginning of third sector just now. Very, very aggressive, but I like it.
Yeah,
very much.
Yeah, he definitely tried to see if he could utilize the banking speed to his advantage there. Got a really good exit, but ended up losing a lot of entry on the next part of the S's here. But he's not giving up yet. He's still right behind Lu Chu Han. We've got about 10 minutes left in the race, so he's got plenty of time to try to make a move happen here. Neil Harris is going to be closely watching this battle from behind, see if he needs to defend, but if these two cars end up slowing each other down, Neil Harris is going to start running away from it. Art goes pretty deep into the outside there, tries to make a pass, but loses too much speed. Here comes the line on the exit there, tries to go for the inside. Ooh, Lu Chu Han squirreling a bit on the exit, might lose a lot of speed as here comes Art into the next left-hander. He's going to be on the inside. Will he force Lu Chu Han out? He's coming in, holding the speed. They're into the back straight right now. Again, side by side. Little bit of collision there from the two cars as they're battling in the back straight, trying to get into the next right-hander here. Will Lu Chu Han be able to hold that position? He's going for the block, but Art comes in from the outside. See if he dives in. Very, very quick dive on the inside there. Forces Lu Chu Han out of the apex. Takes the corner away from him. Will he be able to hold it? Lu Chu Han slowing down a bit. He's got the inside track for the next corner. These two cars are battling it out like crazy right now. Into another right-hander. Art is still holding the lead, but the car right behind him, driven by Joshua Chin, is slowly creeping up to them, and he actually makes a pass onto Lu Chu Han, takes that position away, and now it's a three-way battle for P5.
What a battle. Joshua Joshua looks at the opportunity, sees the battle, and tries to take over the opportunity, and he did it very well, gaining one position away now, but it's a three-way battle between these three drivers just now. Now we see Bima Surya currently has overtaken Ayrton Lau, as now he is the leader for the copper class in the first race here right now. Ayrton Lau still keeping a decent distance between himself and Bima, going through the start-finish line as they're going through another lap right now. Just now, definitely the battle was, we love it so much. That's the kind of battle we like to see from all of our drivers. Now we can see Dodo Prasetya going through the straights right behind Oscar, trying to find an opportunity, looking from the inside, outside. Will anything happen here as well? Doing a bit of a late braking, but kind of overshoots it as Ezra Collins sees an opportunity, trying to take over it from the inside, but no, he is not getting it. Dodo is still trying to cover as much as he can, not giving the chance to Ezra Collins as they're going through, almost finishing the first sector of the track itself. Still, in front of Dodo, we have Oscar. Oh, Ezra looking from the inside, a bit of a braking. Will he be able to take over the position? Almost there, but no, Dodo losing a bit of a traction there as well right now. They're going almost side by side, going through the banking here as they're approaching the straight. Will it be another side by side battle between Dodo and Oscar? Will we be able to see so? Now Ezra has overtaken Dodo, taking over P10, but Dodo is still not giving up, still keeping up at the back. Will he do any kinds of move? Going from the outside, a bit of a late braking, side by side, keeping it cold, but no, he's unable to hold.
Oh,
Who's that?
That was Joshua Chin. He just wiped out there. I think he lost too much traction there on the exit. Almost rejoins the track. Pretty unsafe, but manages to sleep it safe, and Muhammad Fatur Rahman is now ahead of it. Meanwhile, Oscar M is trying to make a move on Yogi Masaji there, running away from the battle behind of Ezra Collin and Dodo Prasetya. He's going to try and move up the pack instead, and he tries to go for it. He's got the inside track on this final penultimate S corners, but here comes Yogi. He's going even deeper, and a little bit of contact there. Yogi's gone off, almost wiping himself out there, keeping Oscar there in check. No, sorry, the opposite way around. Oscar is keeping him in check instead. Is that you gotta try harder than that, and just because of that, you've lost the position. But here comes, he's going on the inside of Dodo Prasetya again. He's gonna try and force him out and make him go wide, but Dodo Prasetya is not taking the bait, and Yogi from P6 jumped P7, now back down to P10. So he has to do the song and dance all over again.
Yeah, currently we have 6 minutes and 10 seconds left into the race. If anyone wants to do anything, they need to do it as soon as possible. Yogi keeping it himself very, very close to Dodo just now. Dodo almost losing a bit of control there, but managing to control himself. So, but another car emerges from behind. Who is that? It's Shahzan. Shahzan seeing the opportunity between those two. He is trying to capitalize on that set opportunity, encouraging those two to battle between each other so he can squeeze himself right into there. As right now we can see these three are still battling with each other, very, very close. I think Shahzad is just looking there from behind, trying to see if there's an opportunity to be coming up from these two drivers in front of him. So far, they're going through the banking of the left, going through the straights. So far, no major movements or shifting has happened yet. So far, it's keeping a bit more calm-ish, if I may say, touch wood.
Yeah. So we've got about 5 minutes left in the race, and Shahzad is still looking for that dive to see whether he can make it past Yogi Masaji. Yogi actually braking quite early there to try and hog the inside lane, so Shahzad can't make the move happen, but ended up losing a bit of speed on the exit there. Now they're really, really close to each other, and Dodo Prasetya is just up ahead. These two drivers have to make sure they don't end up slowing each other down and letting Dodo Prasetya run away with the position that he has right now. If they play their cards right, they could end up in another battle here for P9 this time around. And I just have to mention the fact that this is a P9 battle. They're not even at the front of the pack yet. They're battling like their lives dependent on it, which is exactly what you want to see in racing.
Yes, definitely. Right now, they're still there. Now we can see Ezra Collin overtaking Oscar. Is overtaking Oscar, but no, Oscar is taking that position away back from Ezra as they're going through the last corner. Just now, right now, we are seeing them two going through very, very smooth, keeping it very close. But Ezra, Ezra losing a bit of attraction there as Dodo seeing the opportunity and now has overtaking his and saying thank you very much for giving the place. But no, Ezra is still keeping up the fight, and maybe we'll see things happening here in turn 1 as he's keeping his nose really, really close to the behind of Dodo. No late braking here. He's keeping it very, very safe. I think he knows that now is the last critical minute of 4 minutes left. Mistakes should not happen anymore. Risks are too high to be taken at this last minute. No good reason to lose more position if he's taking another risky move. But Yogi right now as well is right behind Ezra, seeking an opportunity to get that P9 away from him right now, keeping it very, very close as well.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned before, if there are spaces where you don't want to make mistakes, it's definitely the place right before the 2 long straights, because you make a mistake there, you lose so much speed that you might as well just give up on the upcoming battle. Meanwhile, Ayrton Lau here is still hanging on to the tail of Bima Surya. Bima Surya, of course, well known over the course of Global Edition Season 18 for just running away with the lead as soon as he gets it. But Ayrton Lau is keeping him honest here. They got about as close as 2/10 away from each other on the start of this lap. And Bima Surya is slowly pulling away in the corners. But here comes Art. He might have ended up losing a lot of speed there on the exit. Dropped down to P12 so far, but he's making it past Joshua Chin again. Shazan actually losing position to Yogi Masaji here. Yogi is also trying to see if he can take that position back from Faturaman. He did lose a lot of position earlier on in the race, and now he's trying to claw it all back by Muhammad Faturaman. They're doing a pretty good job at defensive driving and blocking him off. However, they are coming up to the S's, which is, again, as you mentioned before, a band corner and a blind corner. So we have to see. Art tries to go in wide there past Shazan. Shazan takes the move away from him, but he has the inside track for the next corner. Will he be able to hold on to the position? He does, and meanwhile, Joshua Chin also seizes the opportunity to make a pass onto Shazan. So they're now in the final corner. Got to make sure to brake a bit early. Joshua Chin going quite deep into the apex, sliding a bit on the outside and going wide there. So Shazan is going to be pretty content with trying to take that position back. Joshua Chin probably has to concede it because he lost quite a lot of speed on the exit there. He's not giving it up just yet though, as they're coming up back into turn 1 past the start-finish straight. Let's see, Shazan, he's got the inside track. Will he be able to take that position away? He does. Joshua Chin being forced onto the outside, but Shazan jumps the curb and loses a lot of speed. And now Joshua Chin takes the position away back from him. This is a massive back and forth between these 2 drivers.
Yes, we have now 1 minute and 30 seconds left, probably 1 or 2 laps left for our drivers to get the positions that they want. We have seen people fighting, clashing, and even body slamming each other, trying to get to the positions that they want. As now we can see Joshua Chin currently stuck in P12, but now we have Bima Surya as well in P1. Ayrton keeping it very, very close at P2 with Seth Martin in P3. So far, the distance between Ayrton Lau and Bima is the same. They're not increasing it nor decreasing it. They're keeping it really, really close to each other. But Ayrton Lau, if he wants that P1, he needs to do something now. He needs to get a miracle. He needs to ask for a miracle, something away from Bima. But Bima, from all the races that we have seen him so far, he does not do a lot of mistakes. Once he gets that P1, he will keep it as long as he can.
Yeah, and it is within everyone's best interest that Ayrton Lau actually gets his position onto Bima Surya, because if Bima Surya ends up finishing race 1 in first place, I think he's got pretty much the entire Copper League on lock. He's going to end up running away as the season winner there. But we got 30 seconds left, 25 seconds as they're about to round the final corner. Will they be able to make one more lap before the end of the race? It looks like they will be able to. Got 15 seconds left, so as long as they cross the start-finish straight just before the timer runs out, they'll be able to. And yes, Ayrton Lau does have one more lap, one more opportunity to make this pass happen. But the gap between him and Bima Surya, 0.6 of a second, quite a substantial gap. Ayrton Lau has to make sure every corner he takes from now on is completely perfect, and he has to pray for Bima Surya to make a mistake.
Yes, definitely. I would love to see if Ayrton Lau can use this last chance, last lap opportunity to get that P1 that he really, really likes so much. Will he be able to overthrow Bima, disturbing him a bit in the standings, or will Bima be able to stand on the throne solid with no one be able to touch him? We do not know about that as well. The third currently at P3, Seth Martin is currently 5.7 seconds away. Also now fighting against Neil Harris. Neil Harris fighting. Oh! And of a contact there. Neil Harris losing his speed to Seth, as Seth Martin currently retains his P3. But Neil Harris is not going to be very happy there with the contact that he has with Seth Martin, causing him some time, as now the distance, the gap has increased to 1.4, 1.5 seconds between himself and Seth Martin definitely do not have a lot of chance to get that P3 that he wanted, but who knows, miracles might happen in this last corner. We do not know as well, but definitely that's something that we want to see. Bima still currently in the second sector. Oh, okay, almost at the end of second sector, still be able to keep his lead away from Ayrton. Not much of a time change here. The gap is still the same. Ayrton is trying his best, trying to find the line that he can use to be able to close the gap, but still unable to do so as they're reaching to the end, almost I would say in sector 3 right now, going through the banking, the blind corners there, going to the last 2 corners before the final corner, as we are approaching to the end of the first race for Copper class, with Bima Surya going to the last corner. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Bima Surya crossing the finish line with P1, followed by Ayrton Lau in P2.
Yeah, an all too familiar sight there as Bima Surya takes over the entire race, got the position and almost never let it go anyway. Seth Martin in P3, Neil Harris in P4 there, Lu Chuhan in P5, we have Oscar in P6, Ezra Call in P7, Dodo Prasetya in P8, Muhammad Faturama in P9, and Joshua Chin rounding out the top 10. Very tumultuous race here for Joshua, but he actually managed to squeeze into the top 10 there, so he's going to be pretty happy with himself.
What a crazy first race have we seen from our drivers. Definitely, they are very, very feisty from all the rounds. It may be even more feisty than last week's round in Red Bull Ring. They definitely won that position. They are not going to give up. They are going to give a fight, and a fight is something that we want to see in today's race. What do you think of the first race just now?
Yeah, absolutely great driving from everyone there. A good display of racecraft here from the Copper class. Everyone did their job. Some of them might have lost control of their cars over a while, but they managed to keep it neat and tidy throughout the entire 15 minutes, and it is a great sight to see, especially with these very, very close contact bumper-to-bumper racing. Just as a reminder to everyone that is watching, the next race is going to be reverse grid with the top 10 spots reversed in order. So Joshua Chin is going to be starting at the front of the pack this time around with Bima Surya in P10 instead. So another challenge for Bima Surya to make it to the front of the pack, starting 9 cars behind the leader there. He's done it before, 100% he's done it before, but we'll have to see if he'll be able to close this one out and walk away with a very, very substantial gap and hopefully the season championship.
Yeah, definitely. It is going to be an interesting race that we're going to see from our Copper class drivers here with their Porsches. Definitely everyone here has shown their skills because all of them are driving the same car. Everyone has them in the same spec. Definitely what determines them to be the best is the skills themselves, okay? Now, we are going to get ready for the second race soon. Like my partner Damon says just now, it is going to be top 10. We'll be going on a reverse grid, so whoever's on 10th place just now will be in P1, whoever's in P1 will be on P10, and kind of like that.
Yeah, if Bima Surya ends up clinching the win here, he'll be unfortunately one qualifying session away from today's Grand Slam, but he is still going to be pretty happy with the result that he has put in so far. Ayrton Lau there to put up a fight all the way to the end, unfortunately wasn't able to make it happen. Will be starting in P9 this time around, and the top 3 drivers in the championship standings right now are going to be starting relatively far down the pack, so it's going to be a matter of whether or not they'll be able to make it through. But as their standings have shown, they definitely have pulled it off a few times. Okay, we're going to get ready into the next race in just a second. One more time here from the reverse grid order. Bima Surya will be starting in P10 with Joshua Chin taking pole position this time around. Paturaman in P2, Dodo Prasetya will be in P3, Ezra Collin in P4, Oscar in P6, Lu Chuhan P5, Neil Harris in P6, Seth Martin P7, Ayrton Lau
P9.
Yeah.
And
what
Bima
happened to P8? Shoot. I missed it somewhere, I guess.
And Bima in P10. I think, yeah.
Yeah. Can I count? I can count, right?
You can count.
Yeah, I can count.
Yeah.
I definitely did not miss a driver.
You just said P4 twice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
P4
Yeah. All
twice.
right. That makes a lot of sense. Yes. All right. So now,
there we go.
So now all the cars on the grid. I feel kind of bad for because of how big the grid is. Once you're past the first 20 spots, to be like P21 and behind, you're starting on the corner instead of on the straight, so you don't really get the launch that you want. very, very difficult, especially with a grid of this size.
Definitely.
To make your way through this pack. And because you're not getting shuffled, you have to re-race in the position that you finished in. Meanwhile, here, Joshua Chin there, gonna have to make sure that he gets a good launch if he wants to hold on to that lead. We've seen him put up pretty good pace, but a few mistakes throughout the race did cost him quite a lot there. He has to make sure keeps his mental under control, make sure he calms down, takes a deep breath, and here we go. 10 seconds left on the gantry. The lights will be coming on right now. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll see. Here comes Joshua Chin. Will he get the launch he wants? Ooh, a bit late on the jump there, but it seems to have been okay for him. Faturaman there, P2 pulling alongside. We'll see if he's able to close the gap. No, Joshua Chin doing a pretty good job holding it now, but they're coming into the turn 1 very soon. Dota Prasetya there in P3. Is he going to try to do the same thing Bima Surya did and dive in between two cars? Doesn't look like it. Joshua Chin there going on the outside with Faturaman on the inside, holding on to that corner pretty well. He's still holding on to that P1 position, but Faturaman is being very, very stubborn there, trying to see if he can push through. He won't be able to just yet. Meanwhile, the car of the winner of last race, Bima Surya there, making up a position into P9 now in front of Ayrton Lau. We'll see if he'll be able to make it through the rest.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone is keeping it very, very tidy, very, very safe in there.
Oh!
It goes through it again. As who was the one that got spun? I think it was Oscar.
Yeah, it was Oscar.
Oscar has lost his position. That's definitely the commentator curse, everyone. I am really sorry on that part. But now, as we're going through, Ayrton Lau has climbed onto P7, going to straight. He is now fighting Bima right now, going through the straight, drafting from behind of his Porsche. Will he be able to gain one position away from him? Will he be able to take the lead away from him? As now they're approaching a hard braking zone here. Ezra going the outside of Dodo Prasetya, but no, Dodo managed to keep it inside safe and well just now. Very, very good.
That's Ayrton Lau going quite wide there on the exit. He was on the outside, but I think he braked a bit too late and ended up losing 3 positions in total. Now back down to P9 there. Bima Surya, his rival on the other hand, jumped up to P6 holding that position still. He might lose even more this time. We have Satria Pandu Wichakono in P10 trying to see if he can make a move onto Ayrton. We'll see if he'll be able to maintain the pace right now because there is a car in front of him blocking their path if they want to try and speed up. Seth Martin here holding on to that P8 position. Not for long, however, as you can see, the gap between these cars is steadily closing. Ayrton Lau, pretty wide line going into the first banked curve of the S's. Coming into the next side, will he be able to keep it neat and tidy as they enter the penultimate corner into the final corner? If he goes wide, it might be curtains for him. He's going brake quite hard there. See if he makes it on the outs, the exit, just nice, very, very tidy. And as a matter of fact, it was Seth Martin that ended up going a bit wider, so Ayrton Lau has his way back into the race.
Now, as we can see, Bima starting from P10 just now is currently in P6, chasing Shahzan on the turn 1 just right now, as Shahzad now going through turn 1, fighting against Ezra Khalid in front of him, trying to keep Bima as much as he can behind there as well. Will Shahzad be able to hold off the attack by Bima, or will he be able to run away from him and get over Ezra in sector 1 right now? As we can see, Shahzad going hard on the brakes, glowing breakness, going through the corner here. Very, very clean, very, very well. No big drama happened as we're approaching at the banking. I would say one of Dubai's most nice corner here as well. Right now, as we can see, Ezra taking over the inside just now. Oh! And Ezra has spun out, ladies and gentlemen, losing his positions away at the banking. Like you said, losing position in that particular corner will definitely lose you a lot of time and positions as well.
Yeah, and wiping out at that spot where you need to be holding traction as best as you can because of the speed you'll be carrying for the rest of the straight really is a massive mistake there. As I call it, now down to P14, you can see just how much that has cost him. Yogi Masachi going really deep on the inside there. That dive secured him 2 positions there. But here comes Ezra Collin, not gonna give out just yet. We've still got 11 minutes left in this race. Meanwhile, up ahead we have Bima Surya there, still gradually making his way. It's up into P5 now. Only 4 cars separating between him and the leader. Joshua Chin there, keeping it nice and tidy this time around, eking out a 0.7 second gap, 0.6 second gap ahead of his P2 rival, Muhammad Faturaman. We'll see if we're able to hold it right now as they're coming up into the final corner here. Again, the exit is going to be so important. Faturaman there, braking just about, but I think Joshua Chin might have gone a little bit wider, had to overbrake to make it out just nice. That means he might lose a bit of speed, but Faturaman is too far behind to really make anything happen.
Yeah, that's true. Fatur Rahman in the first round just now definitely lost a lot of positions due to the first corner incident. But right now, he's holding his best onto P2, trying his best to to chase over Joshua right now. Keeping it a very, very clean, very, very nice and tidy so far. No mistakes. The gap is decreasing to 0.4 seconds. He is definitely gaining his time with Joshua. Will anything be able to happen? We'll see what happens after this as well just right now. As Fatur Rahman is trying his best to chase. Now the gap is almost close to 0.3. Fatur Rahman is definitely building. Definitely braked a bit later. Then Joshua keeping himself very, very close as they're approaching to the bank right now before the long straight as well. Bima currently in P5. Chasing Shazan. Oh, looking from the inside. No, Shazan manages to close the door and Bima is holding onto his P5 positions as they're going through the straights right now as well. So far, the spaces are just nice. Nothing much is happening, but Ayrton Lau, 0.5 seconds. He is right behind Bima right now. He has fallen behind due to that incident just now, but he is now right behind Bima, trying to find an opportunity to take over and to overtake him right now and see if he can win over him after his not so well position, after his P2 position in the first round just now. As now we have 9 minutes and 17 seconds left into the race.
Yeah, and it really speaks to just how fast Bima and Ayrton have been over the course of this entire race there. For Ayrton to make up 4 positions like that over the course of a lap is almost nothing short of a miracle. But he is still 2 positions behind Bima Surya there, who is still gradually making his way up on the field. He is right behind Shazan there, and they are just 3 seconds away from the leader. If Bima Surya makes it past, he might be able to close the gap, but he goes wide onto the bank there. Will he be able to hold the line? No, he won't, but Dodo Prasetya will be the biggest loser of that as Ayrton Lau makes it through him. Now the gap between Bima and Ayrton about 0.3 of a second. Traffic there, Bima going a bit wide on the exit. Will he be able to carry enough speed to make it happen? Yes, he will. No problems there. And he also has the draft. So does Ayrton. So we have to make sure if they'll be able to try and make a move right at the end of this start-finish straight here. Bima Surya losing a bit of speed to Shazan there, but he's still holding strong.
Yeah, Ayrton Lau just now definitely witnessed a 3 yellow color Porsche fight in front of him. Manages to see the opportunity and take the opportunity. Currently right now climbing another position with Bima as well, as they're currently in P4 and P5 respectively. Ayrton Lau is not giving up as the gap is decreasing to, or my bad, it's now increasing another 0.1 second. Bima doing a bit of a slide there, but still keeping his speed very, very well. But Ayrton Lau is still not giving up, trying to chase Bima as much as he can. Bima seeing an opportunity from the person in front of him, taking it a bit wide. Bima might be able to get a better speed here, but it seems that the position is the same. But Ayrton, very, very close to Bima. Closer, closer, closer. Will Ayrton do his move here? He's taking it from the outside to a very heartbreaking and right turn. Will Ayrton be able to do?
Oh no!
Ayrton has overshoot his braking point and lost that position, a few positions away. Now he's fallen back to P7, losing 2 positions away back at that long straight.
Yeah.
What a stressful moment there.
The pressure definitely got to him that he was really, really trying for that move against Bima Surya there. As you mentioned before, overshot the braking point completely and then went wide. Didn't lose too much, however, only lost a couple of positions there, so he could still definitely make his way back up there. He is currently 0.6 down on limb here. About 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in the race. Joshua Chin has gone off. That means Fatur Rahman has taken the lead away from him, and he might have suffered a little bit of damage there as well. Joshua Chin down to P8 from a strong P1 start. If we had a replay, we could see what was going down there. But as he rejoins the track, he ends up crashing into Seth Martin as well. It's a miracle both of them still pointing their cars straight. Joshua Chin down to P9, and Seth Martin also going wide there. So it's just a cacophony of mistakes happening from these 2 cars in front of you. But Joshua Chin and Seth Martin holding it together right now, still in the top 10. We'll see if they'll be able to make their way back up, but it is definitely going to be a big blow to Joshua.
Yeah, it seems that Bima is very, very lucky today, because right now he's in P3. He's only 0.7 seconds away from Shazan. Well, with Bima's speed right now within, I would say, less than 6 minutes, will it be possible to Bima to get at least to P2 or even better, P1? He is getting very, very lucky. He's been very, very lucky in this second race as he keeps climbing and climbing quite steadily and up to a podium position. As we can see, Joshua right now is falling behind again.
I think he might have bottled it at this almost the same spot. No, just a bit further behind from what happened there. I think he might have suffered a bit of, well, if not mechanical damage, then a bit of mental damage there as he spins out Tristan. And he's not going to be too happy with that as they're entering the straight finish, the back straight. Down to P18, a massive fall from grace here from Joshua Chin, making very, very large mistakes that cost him the race pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely his mental. He is not able to concentrate so far. But as we can see, Ayrton Lau is climbing back up to P6, trying to overtake Lim. In Lim Jr. in front of him, Lim losing a bit of a momentum, losing a bit of a traction there as well. But that gives a chance to Satria as well to see an opportunity to overtake them as they're approaching the banking in the last sector of the track itself. Ayrton still trying to find an opportunity to get back his position. He wants to keep fighting Bima, but now as the lap goes on, the gap between himself and Bima is increasing. He is trying his best. He's pushing the car really, really hard right now, trying to get as much speed as he can, trying to climb back up, to fight against Bima right now, actually.
Yeah, definitely. And Bima is massively ahead, almost 3 seconds. In fact, it's pretty much more than 3 seconds ahead of Ayrton Lau right now. He is closing the gap ever so slightly. Shazan, as a direct result of Bima being on his tail. Oh my god, big shot there from Ayrton Lau, trying to make it past. Probably couldn't brake hard enough in time to avoid that collision, but as a result of that, Satria Pandu Wijasono takes away the position from both him and Lin Junyi, now up to P5. So a stroke of luck for Satria here, and now he has to make out the 3-second gap to Bima Satria. Ayrton Lau, again, as you mentioned before, from the case of Joshua Chin there, some uncharacteristic mistakes happening there from the side of Ayrton Lau. Definitely right in mentioning that the pressure has probably gotten to him a little bit, and in Copper class, especially because these drivers are only just starting off, definitely to understand the pressure that these drivers are going on, because they have to chase down the car in front, they have to watch the rearview mirror, make sure the car behind doesn't get too close. It is definitely a lot.
Yeah, I would say definitely the stress is getting to our drivers here, as they know this is their last chance. This is their last race to gain that pride, that victory pride that they so ever deserve. As now we can see Joshua Chin right now, which he was P1, sadly fallen to P16. By now he's fighting against Surya, trying to get that at least a P15 for himself. Will he do more mistakes? But so far, no mistakes so far. He is keeping the fight between himself and Surya, taking the inside. That's a very clean overtake there by Joshua. Good job. No mistakes happen. Very, very nice. Very, very clean.
Yeah, meanwhile, up in front, Bima Satria actually dropped down a position to Dodo Prasetya. He's now a full second behind them. Might have been a bit of a mistake in one of the quarters, but he's going to try and see if he can get back into the draft as they're entering the start-finish straight. Probably will be able to. Half a second is quite a gap to get past. 2 minutes left in race 2 here in the Copper class, the final Copper class of Global Edition 18. So we'll have to see if Bima Surya can eke it out and get a podium finish. And meanwhile, Ayrton Lau back up into the grid now in P7. Trying to see if he can make it past Lim Junyi. He has to make sure, take a deep breath, keep himself under control. Goes for the dive. Very, very late on the brakes there. Amazing pass from the side of Ayrton Lau to get past Lim Junyi. And Lim Junyi was quite honestly stunned because he is now letting Seth Martin almost get past.
Yeah, this time it worked. Just now he was trying his best to dive bomb at that same corner against the same person. But now he has learned his lesson, keeping his composure, and did a very beautiful dive bomb just now. Now Seth Martin right now is the next opponent for Lim, as Lim right now at 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Lim has to hold on. If he wants to keep that P7, he has to hold on against Seth and Yogi, which is very, very close to him right now as they're approaching the straight. Will Seth be able to overtake Lim? We will see sooner or later. Oh, Yogi as well right now, peeking from behind, seeing what he can do. And now we're back to Ayrton. He's trying to chase Satria with 0.2 seconds. This is where he made a mistake by overshooting his breaking point and keeping it very, very clean. He's making as less mistake as he can. But he is stuck at P6, fighting against the Singaporean Sunfair right now. Will he be able to overtake him in this, I would say, probably second or probably the last lap of the race itself, as now Ayrton is still trying to find a way to overtake him. Seth Martin keeping himself very, very close to Lim, sticking himself very, very close as they're approaching to the third sector and approaching the blind back corner. Seth going a bit wide there, probably trying to take it from the outside, gaining the speed, but so far keeping it very, very close. No moves has been done yet. And now we are switching to Dodo Prasetya, fighting against Fatur Rahman. Oh no, that's Shazan. Shazan taking over P2. Overtake Dodo on the last corner there.
Oh, they're going to cross the line. No, they won't be able to cross the line. That will be the end of the...
Last lap?
Oh yeah, actually they definitely made it through. They made it through. It's great from them. Yeah, so Dodo Prasetya trying to make a move onto the last quarter there as a last-ditch effort to say if we can secure that position before they end up crossing the start-finish straight. But it does mean they do still have one more lap. So Dodo Prasetya is going to try and see if he can mount another attack. He's close enough to Shazan to make it happen. Meanwhile, Bima Surya actually dropped down a little bit to the top three drivers here, about a second down on Dodo Prasetya. If these two end up battling, it could slow them down enough for Bima Surya to find an opportunity, an opening to make a move here, but it will remain to be seen whether or not it will actually happen. Meanwhile, Muhammad Fatur Rahman comfortably in front, almost 3 seconds ahead of everyone else, will be able to keep this race under his iron grip, and holding on to that lead is an absolute banger of a job. He's been holding on to that lead pretty much since the start of the race. Well, not the start of the race. It happened when Joshua Chin spun out. But yes, he's been holding on to the top 2 position for the entire duration of the race. So great drive from him as we're seeing him enter the third sector right now. Meanwhile, Dodo Prasetya going pretty heavy on the dive there. Won't be able to carry enough speed on the exit to make that pass stick. But they are in the final sector. Going a bit wide there. I think he lost it a little bit on the entry. Losing quite a bit of time, but keeping it 100 right now. Dodo Prasetya is still on the inside of Shazan there. He is just waiting like a cat about to strike for its mouse. And now coming into the S's right before the final corner. Again, banked curve. We'll see if he'll be able to make a move then. And if not, the final corner is going to be where it's all at. Here comes Bima Surya. They're closing the gap. You can see these two cars battling each other. Have slowed them down enough for Bima Surya to be close. But probably not close enough as Dodo Prasetya, here comes the final corner. Will he make a dive? Doesn't look like it. He does go quite late on the brakes. He's going on the outside. Might be carrying a little bit too much speed there, but he is holding on to that P3. Shazan being resolute. And here comes Muhammad Fatur Rahman crossing the start-finish straight. Dodo Prasetya unable to make it happen. Stuck in P3, but a pretty good position. A podium nonetheless for him. Bima Surya unfortunately ended up in P4. Ayrton Lau actually there, right behind him in P5. Don't know where he made up the position. But again, amazing drive from both Ayrton Lau, Bima Surya. But of course, our race 2 winner, Muhammad Fatur Rahman. Great drive from him.
Yeah, he finally did his redemption arc where he didn't do well so much in race 1 just now, but he definitely redeemed himself in race 2 by keeping himself very clean, very tidy, let everyone else fight and get that P1 for himself. Wow, what a second race just now. A lot of position shifting between our drivers here, David. Definitely a crazy round, a crazy race.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I think it's one of the cleanest copper races I've watched, which is absolutely insane to think about, but it just speaks to how these drivers have grown over the course of this entire season. And we have to be tabulating the points later on, but Bima Surya is most likely going to end up winning the championship and then getting promoted all the way to the bronze class, and then we'll see how he manages it fair. Yeah, great drive from everybody, and for all the drivers that have taken part in GE18 Copper class, absolutely bang up job. Everyone did.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't get the result you want, but it is racing. Sometimes it's 80% skill and 20% luck. Most of the time.
It's just that everyone's still enjoying because they're doing their quote-unquote, I would say, victory donuts there. Very, very racy, very, very racer kind of them for them. But yes, definitely that was our copper round, as we'll be moving to our bronze after this.
Yes,
in the GT3 class.
Yeah, so if you guys were super hyped for the copper class, we do still have 2 more class races. Of course, it is the bronze class and the silver and gold multi-class race. So we'll be right back after these messages, but stick around.
Computer is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Welcome back to eRacing GP Global Edition Season 18. This is the final race of the season here at the Dubai Autodrome. We've just gotten past the Copper class and now we will be on the GT3s in Bronze class. My name is Damon. I'm again joined here by Amir and we will be bringing you coverage of the race all the way until the Silver and Gold class races. Now, I've heard you mention just during the break that GT3 is your favorite class of cars.
Yes.
Why is that specifically?
I would say this is where everyone has their own style of the cars. You know, we have different manufacturers. We have from Ferraris, we have from the Italians, from Ferraris, Lambos, to Germans with BMWs, and to Americans we have the amazing Ford Mustang V8s. Definitely the variety, and I would say each of them has their own, I would say, specialties, things and perks, and definitely I can say the engine sounds of the cars, very, very beautiful.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. You got V8s, we got well, mostly V8s.
V8s, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, regardless, as you mentioned before, the American contingent of GT3 with the Corvettes and the Mustangs, absolutely amazing looking cars as well. But enough gushing over the cars. We will be able to see them in action. But first of all, we got to get through a little bit of talking. Meanwhile, here in the bronze class, driver standings are as follows. Yash Qayyum there, 10 points ahead of Eric Satria in P1. Jeremy Yao rounding out the top three, 20 points separating these three drivers. So, and a good position will swing this a lot in everyone's favor. Fayam Hatta also not that far behind, 5 points behind Jeremy Yao. Naufal Faiz, it honestly, like the top 5 right now, they're like 5-10 points separating each other. So this is going to be probably the closest bronze class races we're going to have in a long time.
Definitely.
Because we have Jordan McNeil as well, 1 point behind Alpha Faiz. Dave Chen, 1 point behind Jordan McNeil. Naufal Afif, 1 point behind Dave Chen. And then rounding out the top 10, we have Ethan and Randy Go a bit lower down in the standings. And here are the drop scores. Again, Eric Satria is going to end up taking P1 away from Yash Qayyum there with that 65, so 10-point gap. And as we mentioned before, the points are still pretty much the same, except this time Naufal Afif and Dave Chen have the same amount of points. They're tied for P6. So again, big race. Any result is going to swing this entire leaderboard on its head.
Definitely. I am very, very excited to see the battle between our drivers here. The points are really, really close as now we are shifting to the quali right now, as we can see. As I said, the GT3s are very, very special because we have a lot of manufacturers, a lot of engine sounds, and definitely a lot of beautiful, beautiful cars to look at today. From Italy, from Germany, from the US, and even the UK as well is joining in the race. Now we are starting our quali with 7 minutes into the line. Currently, it's Dave Chen in the Mercedes running at P1 with a flat 2 minutes, 0.348, followed by Ronaldo in P2 with only, I would say, around 0.7 seconds behind away right now.
No, that's a 1.2 second gap.
Oh, it's a 1.2 second gap. Thank you very much. Mathematics is definitely not my specialty on that. But yes, Ronaldo right now in the Chevy Corvette, definitely one of the, I would say, good-looking cars on the track right now. Currently in P2 and followed by Pratama in P3, also in the Corvette, but it's at least a 6-second gap away from Ronaldo. But then we're only just beginning, so
Yeah, we're on the outlap, so it's
Yeah.
not too big of a deal right now. And like you mentioned before, I love the Corvettes. They're probably my favorite GT3, and I can't wait for them to bring in the actual C8s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the C8s absolutely look amazing in the flesh. I don't know if you guys have seen one before. It's beautiful. Eric Satria there now. Here comes the fast laps. Punting it all the way into first place right now. P1, 154.792. Dave Chen there, about 2/10 behind with 154.9. Aldrich here in P3. Aldrich Fernando, 1P55. So a bit of distance separating the two, and he's losing that position. Yash Qayyum here coming in strong with the 154.6. Nearly 2/10 ahead of Eric Satria. And as we've seen in the standings a bit earlier there, these three cars, with the exception of Dave Chen, because he is quite far down a little while, but all three of these drivers are very, very much in contention for the podium spots there. Yash Qayyum and Eric Satria in particular going to be gunning for that championship victory there. Both of these guys very close to each other, with Eric Satria in front after the drop scores. So Yash Qayyum there, unfortunately, he got his lap sacked, so he's going to have to redo it. We've still got 5 minutes of qualifying, so doesn't have to worry too much.
Yeah, he still has a chance to do so. Just now, I saw him flashing his lights, telling the car in front of him to move away. I think it was a Ferrari, but then it seems that the Ferrari didn't budge. And he's just like, you know what, okay, I'll give out this lap. I'll do another outlap when the line is split. As you can see on the map right now, currently the most traffic jam part of the track is in the beginning of Sector 3, or at the end of Sector 2 right now, as Eric Satria is having a very clear traffic behind and in front of him. So far, he is in P2, only 0.1 second, I would say, 0.1 second away from Yash Qayyum in the Ford Mustang right now. Will he be able to do a better time here? Currently, he is 0.1 seconds away from his personal best. And let's see, he's going to the finish, keeping it very, 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 very clean there. And still, no change.
Yeah, no dice there for Eric Satria, but he still has a lot of opportunities there. Dave Chen, will he be able to improve on his best time? Does not look like it. Meanwhile, Jeremy Yao making it past Aldrich Fernando there in the 155.1, just pipping him for that P4 spot. Ryan here in P6 still really not be able to make it past the Aston Martin Vantage GT3 car. And he's dropping down even further there, as here comes Randy jumping into P5. Randy Go here, another Mercedes AMG coming in hot right now. 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. Yash Qayyum is still going to be trying to make his fast lap happen, but he has to cross the start finish straight pretty soon. Coming up to the end of Sector 3, about to round the start finish straight in about 15 seconds time. And who else is going to be in front of him if not? Oh, Nicholas Tan in another Mustang here. Nicholas Tan, let's see where he is. He's not set a fast lap yet, so we'll see if he'll be able to make it happen this time around. Crossing the start finish straight there. Doesn't seem to be really carrying the pace to the outside there. See, 156.5. Not bad, not bad. Not good enough to make it into the top 10, however.
Yeah, definitely. Yash Qayyum is definitely in P1 right now, but he cannot be too comfortable. He will need to do faster if he wants to be comfortable, as right now, Eric is very, very close to him, keeping the time very, very close. So if he wants to increase that gap, he needs to push it as much as possible. As right now, we are seeing Yash Qayyum doing his outlap in the Corvette, going through Sector 1 blazingly fast in the Corvette, keeping it very tidy, very, very clean. No fouls, no mess, very, very nice. And now we can see Eric Satria in the Mustang going through the final corner. Will he be able to do a better time? No, so far, still, he has unable to close his gap or take away P1 away from Yash Qayyum. Jeremy Yao back in the pits, and we're back to Yash Qayyum running, and he is currently in the straights, almost approaching the final corner with a white Mustang in front of him right now. Will it be blocking him? But no, so far I don't think so. Yash Qayyum is still trying his best, keeping his line clean. Listen to he keep a bit wide there actually. but it seems that he is gaining a bit of time, but the time is decreasing right now. The gap is slowly going away. Is 0.1, 0.3, is 0.13. Will he be able to do better? Let's see as he's approaching the final sector of the track. Did he let go of the gas just now?
Yeah, he might have, because he wasn't really sure if he could end up taking that corner just before the bank S is flat. But he did end up scrubbing quite a lot of time in some of the corner exits there, so he might end up sacking this lap as well. But again, he is about to cross the start finish rate. That means he does have one more lap to make it happen. However, he is in P1, so probably doesn't really have too much to worry about. As a matter of fact, is the driver behind him. Eric Satria is the one that really has to buckle down and see if he can make it happen. If we can go to the cockpit cam right now, you can probably see the delta of his current time before. Yeah, he is not making that lap.
Yeah, he is at least 0.4, it's almost 0.5 seconds, I would say, away from his personal best right now. Unable to close his gap between himself and Yash Koyum. Not sure if it's the car or not sure if it's the driver, but the Mustang is definitely, I can tell you, has a lot of torque. Listen to that sweet, sweet V8 screaming through the exhaust. But now, will he be able to keep it tidy and clean? He has one more chance. He has one more chance to do his best. This is Eric Satria's opportunity to take over P1 away from Yash Koyum. But so far, he is unable to do so as he starts his last outlap. Now we're watching Dave Chen in the Mercedes. Right now, going through the first corner with Eric Satria right in front of you. A bit squirrely there. That's the scary part of Dubai, especially in a faster car, in a GT3 car to be exact. Definitely a bit of a scary moment there. But Dave Chen so far, he is doing, I would say he is doing a good delta, having a good delta right there right now. But will Eric Satria foil his plan? So far, I do not think so. But Dave Chen has a chance right now as he is he's very, very close to P3, which is Luke right now. Almost identical time, but separated. And Eric has went over the track and most probably invalidated his time.
Yeah, no, he definitely sacked that lap because I don't think he got the delta that he wanted after the end of the first two sectors. Actually, at the end of sector 1, which is probably like in the middle in terms of speed that you had carried between the sectors. Sector 2 is the fastest by far. Sector 1 is also reasonably fast. Yash Koyum there, just about, no, he manages his best time. But he's still going to be pretty happy with that. That is still a P1 qualifying stop. So he will be starting in pole position right now. Eric Satria will be starting P2. Luke here taking the spot away from Dave Chen. But Dave Chen there, will he be able to make it past? He is about 1 second, 1.1 second away, 1/10 away from his best finish so far. So, oh, he does end up closing the gap a little bit. No, the exit's a bit too slow.
Yeah.
He won't be able to make it happen. But so he's going to be end up starting in the second row of the grid right now, and he's gone wide there, so he won't be able to really make up the speed he needs for this final exit. You can just see how hard he is on the brakes, but at the same time, how hard it is to keep the car under control, especially in that downhill section. You can see the car is trying to get away from him as he's doing the hard braking.
Yeah, definitely. You can see between Luke and Dave's time, they are almost identical, but probably differentiated by a hairline. Like a very one follicle hairline there, right just now. But it seems that Ryan is able to take P3, and now we can see on our qualification, quali is done in our bronze class with Yash Koyum leading in P1, Eric in P2, Ryan Lim in P3, Luke in P4, and Dave in P5, followed by also Jeremy Yao in P6, Reddy going P7, Muhammad Ozer in P8, Audric in P9, and lastly Pariwat in P10.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing exactly how the cars being different really affects how you're supposed to drive them around a course like this. Like, from what I'm noticing, the Mustangs seem very front heavy. So when they tuck into the downhill sections, you end up having to scrub off a bit more speed to really get that rotation around the final corner to get that exit speed you want. So maybe the car choice isn't really helping out Eric Satria on this track in particular, but he's still in P2, so he's still doing a pretty good job with the car itself. The Corvettes in general, they ride low, they ride long, they ride fast, and that gives them the stability they need with the longer wheelbase.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can pretty much go down the grid and really talk about what makes each chassis unique in terms of their performance, but most of these cars are relatively balanced, so this entire grid and the times that they set is definitely just a measure of the driver's skills.
Definitely, I would agree so on that one. But as we can see right now, currently P1 and P2 is dominated by American cars, as we can see. A Corvette and Mustang leading, but it's broken through by a random German BMW M4 GT3. I think it's an M4, currently at P3 right now, as now we are waiting for everyone to start on the line right after this as well. But definitely, it is something that I'm excited. I have raced before here in a McLaren in AC in a GT3 class before with Handshake Sim Racing Malaysia, and let me tell you, the track is really, really fun to drive to, but if you push it a bit too much, you might, I would say, lose a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not like the GT4s we had earlier where there is some margin of error that you are afforded if you end up making a mistake. These GT3 cars, 600 horsepower, very, very light, very, very high aero. In terms of mechanical grip and aerodynamic grip, they're very, very grippy, but because of how fast they are, mistakes are going to be very, very costly to you, especially when it comes to how much you pick up speed. So we're going down the grid again. Yash Kayyum will be starting in that P1 spot, pole position there. Eric Satria right behind him. Ryan Lim in P3. So we have Dave Chen and Luke Morales in P5 and P4 respectively. 10 seconds left before the race starts. The lights will be going on the gantry in just a moment here. Here comes the first set of lights as they're coming down. Will they have a good launch? We'll have to see. Can't see Yash Kayyum's car here for now, but it does look like a pretty good launch, and they're off. Luke Morales, really, really good start from him. He's going to make it past Ryan Lim almost immediately. Ryan Lim maybe a bit of a late start there, so Dave Chen is going to try and see if he can make it on the outside. Meanwhile, Eric Satria drag racing Yash Kayyum all the way to the start of turn 1. Makes the pass happen. Yash Kayyum is going to be struggling there. Bit of a spin. Takes out Dave Chen as well. That means Eric Satria is... he's actually kept it 100 there, but a trail of carnage left behind puts the current pole position driver all the way back in P20. Massive incident there. Yash Kayyum now has an absolute titan of a challenge in front of him.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Eric Satria managed. We were thinking that it might be over for him. He kept it really well. He saved his car and managed to hold on to his position right now.
Oh no!
And, I spoke again.
No, that's not Eric.
That's not him. Okay,
yeah.
my bad. But it seems that David, I would say just now, a Mercedes did spun away just now as well. Naufal currently is fighting on the straights with Ronaldo going through the straights right now. It's going to be a 3 wide. Is it going to be a 3 wide? Oh, beautiful! And a bit. Naufal has bumped into someone just now, into a Corvette.
Yeah, Naufal bumped Ronaldo onto the dive there, forcing him wide, and it's going to be very hard to commit P9 right now because P9 and P10 both named Naufal. Naufal Aziz and Naufal 5 is going to be a different battle. Meanwhile, Eric Satria is going to try and see if he can make his way up back in front. There is about a 1.5 second gap between him and Ryan Lim, and he's still ceding that position to Fahim Hatta. See if he can make it past. Jordan McNeil takes the inside there. Good exit, forcing Eric Satria back. What? A little bit of desync going on there for Jordan McNeil. But so far, he is taking that position away from Eric Satria. So Eric Satria now down a position as they're running the start-finish straight for the first time.
Beautiful, beautiful drive. And that is the first lap carnage as expected. But I definitely did not expect more carnage. This is definitely more brutal than our bronze and copper class just now. Definitely. As now we can see Audrey Fernando going to the outside of turn 1. Will he be able to pull off a very clean move here? So far, no. He is losing position. But Pratama right now, right behind him, seeing an opportunity. Another Corvette trying to see if he can get space in between Audrey Fernando and trying to take his space away from him. And it seems that just now it's a blue flag car of another Corvette right now of Muhammad Ozair. Oh, Pratama looking from the inside. Will he be able to overtake? No, he is still keeping it distance away. Muhammad Ozair is definitely in a very awkward position as he is blue flag. He is in between all those fast cars in front and right behind him right now. He definitely needs to learn on how to navigate himself safely to let other cars pass him.
Yeah, definitely. He is, of course, a back marker that I think the absolute biggest loser of that turn 1 incident. Complete a lap down on everyone else almost. Meanwhile, Lim Zenlon here, we are seeing him in a group of sea of Mustangs with the McLaren right next to him on the inside, diving in. Oh no, that is a Ferrari. I may have made a mistake there. but definitely losing quite a bit of time here to the other Mustangs in front of him. It is an American battle, Ford versus Ferrari again here, but with only one Ferrari this time around. Ferrari is actually making a wave pass, and here comes Randy Go, waking in. Oh, Yanwan! I think he ended up probably
a bit of a bump, probably?
Yeah, a bit of a bump that lost a lot of speed, pretty much standing still at the entry of that corner, having to get all the other cars to swerve around him instead. Meanwhile, if we look over to the front of the pack, Eric Satria has actually gone down. Oh no, that was a big crash from Yanwar there. He's gone off, and I was just about to talk about the fact that Eric Satria was in P5, now down to P7, lost a lot of time. I think he might have just wiped out again.
Most probably do so right now, as he has 4 cars chasing him right now. Definitely he made a mistake in the earlier part. Nicholas Tan following his draft, going through turn 1 very fast. Will Nicholas Tan do any kind of movement? He's looking from the inside. Will Nicholas be able to do it? And he did. He manages to overtake and stop Eric Satria from taking his position away. Right now, Nicholas Tan is running away, but no, Eric Satria is fighting back. He is trying to find a position, cutting a bit into the track, trying to get as much time as he can, as he is not giving up his position, keeping up the fight with Nicholas Tan, but Nicholas Tan is still holding on to the position right now. Randy Go is hitting Dimas right now, taking the position away from Dimas, now bringing the fight against Eric Satria and Nicholas Tan. That is a lot of battle there right now, as now they're approaching to the straights. Will Eric Satria gain the speed that he needs, the exit speed that he needs to overtake Nicholas Tan? So far, not yet, but this is the long straight. This is an overtaking opportunity, especially on the hard braking. Will Eric Satria be very bold and do a move here? So far, he is not. He's keeping it very safe. He's not willing to risk anything yet so far.
Yeah. Important thing to note, of course, Eric Satria currently is still in the points. His closest rival, he is 10 points down off. Yash Kayu is not in the points. So this is going to be very big. If Eric Satria can hold on to that top 10 spot, and Yash Kayyum cannot make his way up to the grid, that puts the race to battle, the stakes for the race to battle so much higher than it would have been otherwise if Yash Kayyum had held on to the lead all to the end. Meanwhile, the cars in front, of course, is Luke Morales, Ryan Lim, and Fahim Hatta rounding out. Ryan Lim is going to see closing the gap between him and Luke Morales by quite a substantial amount, so we'll have to see if he'll be able to make it past Ryan Lim here in the Aston, seeing if he can make it past the Mercedes. They're pretty far ahead of the rest of the pack, so whatever happened in the back, any accidents, any spins, completely oblivious these guys are.
Yeah, definitely giving a lot of space to Luke and Ryan to have their own battle. As you look from the map, they're pretty much having their own kind of battle here right now. So far, keeping it very close to each other. But no, Randy Go is joining in the fight, trying to see if there's an opportunity. Eric Satria overshoot his braking, but went a bit wide, as he is side by side with Randy Go, and he has overtaken Eric Satria, getting his deserved position away from the Ford Mustang, as he is now inside of another white Ford Mustang in front of him right now. Eric Satria definitely made a few, I would say, clumsy moves here, losing a lot of positions back. He is definitely trying his best to push, get back the podium positions that he wanted, but because of that, he is losing a bit of speed by committing a few mistakes here, left and right a bit. Right now, we're approaching to the straight. Now, this is, like I said, another opportunity, a good overtaking opportunity. Will Randy see his opportunity with Nicholas Tan? He's picking on the inside, going back to, he's not doing anything, he's just keeping it himself. He's trying to let Nicholas know that he is here, keeping it very close between each other, between the German V8s and American V8s, fighting between each other. Will Randy Go get his fight against Nicholas Tan, while Eric Satria is just right behind them watching the battle, presumes.
Yeah, 7.5 minutes left in the race. Meanwhile, Ryan Lim has made his way past Luke Morales, is now in P1. Fahim Hatta about 2 seconds down on the rest of the grid. We've got Audrey Fernando here in P4, Pratama Aji in P5, Nicholas Tan. He's, oh, big swipe there for Randy Go. Wonder what, I think that was a pretty big error there from the side of Nicholas Tan, as Eric Satria see if he can take advantage of that kerfuffle. Does have a bit more speed than Nicholas Tan, but he is being blocked by 2 cars, so he won't be able to make the move just yet. He is close enough for the draft at the start-finish straight. We'll have to see if he'll be able to go for that dive at the end into turn 1. However, we have seen him go overshoot the braking zone just a little bit there. Hopefully with the other cars in reference, he'll be able to do a bit better this time around. He's going on the outside this time around, trying to see if he can make it past. Ooh, corner, carrying quite good amount of speed on the exit there. See if he can make it past Nicholas Stunt. He might just, as they're entering another right-hander. He has the inside try to side. He does make it past Nicholas Stunt. So does Randy Go. Randy Go right now is the only thing stopping Eric Satria from entering P6. But the car behind him, Naval Faiz in the Mercedes AMG, is also very, very close. So now four-way battle here for P6. Any mistake from any one of these drivers could spell disaster for him, but a boon to everyone else.
Yeah, it is two Mercedes, two Ford Mustangs fighting against each other. What a brave move right now just there by, I would say, by the Mercedes. That's now very, very well. Nicholas Stein did really well. Now Fall currently in behind these three cars that were having their own battle just now as well. And back to the straights. I think nothing will happen yet so far. They are keeping it very close. Now we're watching Ronaldo doing a 3 wide, going through the corner very, very well, gaining 2 positions away as another, not one car, but 2 cars being in the car. Is Jeremy Yao in the BMW, losing a lot of positions, falling into P20. And now we're back to Lim Zenlon. In front of him is Dave Chen, fighting a Corvette, fighting a Mercedes. Currently, he is trying to find his way to see if he can squeeze into any small spaces that these 2 cars are provided by. But Fred not. Yash Koyum right now is behind Lim, flashing his light, telling, hey, I am here, give me back my position. Yash Koyum doing a very brave one from the inside. Lim is shocked by his move and gives him the position away. Yash Koyum climbing another position, now trying to chase the 1 Mercedes and 1 Corvette in front of him right now. Again, flashing his light. And it seems that the Mercedes overtook Ronaldo from the inside. Very beautiful. But because of that, Yash Koyum is definitely gaining the better exit speed between these 2 cars. But Ronaldo is not giving up. Ronaldo is going from the inside. Dave is keeping in the middle line. Will Ronaldo break first or will Dave break first? Dave going back from the outside, gaining a very good line. Ronaldo not being able to do anything, has to give back the position. But he is still keeping the fight. By Yash Koyum seeing the battle, he is using this as an opportunity to get back his position, keeping it closer, inches and inches closer. Ronaldo went a bit wide. Yash Koyum looking from the outside. Will he be able to overtake Ronaldo in this corner? No, but I forced it early. Yes, he is keeping it very, very close again. Fight against Ronaldo. And now they're approaching the back. Will Yash Koyum pull another move here? From the inside, it seems so. Yash Koyum has to push the Corvette's V8 to its maximum on this one as they're approaching to the straight. What a drive by Yash Koyum there.
Yeah, great sequence of events between him and Ronaldo, but he is still trying to make a move there as they're out of the back straight into the final sector of this lap. 4 minutes left in the race. He does make the pass happen. Very big dive on the inside. Will Ronaldo make the switchback happen? Punts Yash Koyum a little bit out, but loses quite a lot of speed, and Yash Koyum is going to lock that position down just about. But here comes another right-hander. Meanwhile, Ronaldo is very, very quick to that outside line. They are still side by side over the course of this entire lap as they're about to enter the final 3 corners of the track right now. Into the bank corner, left-hander here. Yash Koyum being forced out wide by Ronaldo, will end up taking a weaker line through. As I say that, however, Ronaldo is still struggling to get the traction he needs for the exit speed. Holds on to the lead just fine. Yash Koyum now has the inside track as they're coming into the final corner. They're being forced wide is Ronaldo. Let's see if he breaks a little bit late, break about the same time, but Yash Koyum has the inside track this time. Ronaldo is being forced wide. He's going to take that position away from him, and a whole lap battle comes to a close with Yash Koyum taking over V12.
What a beautiful battle between Yash Koyum and Ronaldo just now. 2 Corvettes fighting side by side. And now as Dave Chen taking from the inside, overtaking Dimas. Whoa, a bit of tandem drifting. It's a both tandem drifting, and both of them has crashed out from the first corner. Very enthusiastic, but failed successfully by these 2 drivers.
I wouldn't say successful, but yeah, go off. I mean, it looked good. It looked really good, but the result was not what either of them really wants. I should point out the fact that right now all the top 10 drivers in the current championship standings are all very, very much spread out across the map. Half of them are not in points, which is a problem. Yash Koyum, however, has jumped up to P10. What this means for him is that he's still going to be point scoring, and he's starting pole position this time around for the next race. We didn't see him start from pole position this race. Didn't work out so well for him. We'll just have to see whether or not he'll be able to maintain it for race 2. But he is making absolutely great progress. He dropped down to P20 just now. Reminder, P20 10 minutes ago. And now he's back up to P10. So amazing drive for Yash Kayum so far. Meanwhile, Eric Satria has been unable to make any headway in his race to the front of the pack. He's still stuck behind Randy Go. And this battle they have between the two cars has slowed them down to the point where Randy Go is 3 seconds behind Pratama Aji. Pratama Aji is close to 7 seconds behind Aldrich Fernando, which is going to be a big problem because we have 90 seconds left in the race there. You can see just how desperate some of these drivers are going to be. Race 1 does have more points than race 2, so a lot higher stakes there. Eric Satria right now does seem like he's going to be the biggest winner out of the top 10 drivers right now because he's still relatively high in the standings, but it could be subject to change if he doesn't make a move soon.
Yeah, definitely. We have 1 minute left into the race. There is a possible 2 laps left into the race. The racers, if they want to do anything, they need to do it now. They need to push the car to the maximum limit in order to get the positions that they want. Ryan Lim currently right now is very, very comfortable. No, I wouldn't say comfortable, but slightly comfortable in P1 right now with Luke in the Mercedes chasing him through the banking of the corner as they're approaching the straight. Who will win? Will it be the UK V8s or V12 or the German V8s here going through the straights here? It seems that Luke right now still has a significant distance between himself and Ryan. So I don't think there's going to be any moves to be taken in this long straight. But let's see what will happen right now. As now we have a very, very brave move there. We have 50 seconds left into the race. Ryan Lim just needs to hold on. He slides a bit there. He just needs to hold on to that P1 position as much as he can. But Luke is not giving up. Luke is attacking him with everything he's got in that Mercedes right now, keeping the fight the best. Now it seems that it's the last lap of the race already. So Ryan, he's approaching sector 3. He's in sector 3 right now. He just has to keep it clean, no mistakes, but as fast as possible. Luke, if he wants to get the P1, he needs to do something. Both of them went a slightly bit wide, going through the last corner. And it seems that, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that Ryan Lim is going to cross the finish line with no kerfuffle as he secures his place in P1, followed by Luke Morales in P2 and Fahim Hatta in P3, followed by Audric in P4.
Yeah, Randy Go there. He actually make it past Pratama Aji this time around. Pratama Aji might have made a bit of a mistake there, dropped 2 positions, giving Eric Satria and Randy Go P6 and P5 respectively. Nicholas Tan there in, scratching in. Yash Kayum making it into the top 10 after what is absolutely a career-defining drive there. He's going to end up starting on a grid for race 2. Amazing drive from all these drivers. Not as tidy as Copper Class, but you know, it definitely lends credence to how much action you'll see here at ERGP.
Definitely, what a great battle that we have here. It's only Bronze Class in the GT3s. If you think GT4s are chaotic, well, you're wrong. GT3s are definitely more chaotic, with the drivers being super duper aggressive. At the same time as well, they won a taste of that victory, as we can see right now. It's a bit unlucky for Yash Kayum though, as he was in P1, but sadly has fallen due to the first lap incident. But he managed a very good recovery drive, pushing himself back to P10 or P9 just now.
Yeah, he ended up in P10, but that does mean, as I mentioned before, reverse grid means he's starting for P1. Lightning hopefully doesn't strike twice for him. What's the other one? I mean, lightning strikes twice is a good thing. What's the opposite of that? We'll think about it later. But regardless, Yash Kayum is going to be starting P1 this time. Eric Satria is going to be starting P5. So now Yash Kayum's closest competitor is going to be starting 4 cars down from him. Eric Satria did end up in the points. So did Yash Kayum. They're about 10 points away from each other. So this gap has narrowed quite substantially. Race 2 is going to be the absolute decider at the end of the day. If Eric Satria makes it past, finishes P1, or at least 3 cars ahead of Yash Kayum, he's going to steal the title away right underneath Yash Kayum's nose. But Yash Kayum does have a lot more to fight for. He is currently race championship leader, so he's got to make sure he buckles up, puts an absolute 100% into his driving, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, and also make sure that he doesn't end up getting taken out by a different car this time
Yes.
around. So we're going to look through the current reverse grid order. Yash Kaiyum going to be starting P1 there. Now for is going to be in P2. Nicholas Tan in P3. Pratama Aji P4. Eric Satria going to be in P5. Randy Go in P6. Audrey Fernando P7. Fahim Hatta P8. Luke Morales in P9. And Ryan Lim, our race 1 winner, is going to be starting in P10 this time around. So we'll see if he'll be able to do that drive again. He did end up doing a very, very good drive to make it. He was, I think, P7, P6, P8 around there, and then made it all the way to the front of the pack. So he's definitely got a good driver. He's got the pace. We'll just have to see if all of them can keep it neat and tidy as they start the race, the second race.
Definitely, but I expect more chaos from race number 2, because this is the decider race. This decider last 15 minutes of their lives to determine who will be the best of the best in terms of bronze class. And I would like to see these people drive to the absolute limit, pushing their cars to the absolute limit, pushing themselves as well to the absolute limit. Cannot wait, as right now they are lining up. Okay, I would say now they are lining up our drivers right now. As we can see, it is a reverse grid, as Yash Koyum currently in P1, followed by Naufal in P2, Nicholas in P3, Pratama in P4, and Eric in P5, followed by Randy as well in P6, Audric in P7, Fahim in P8, Luke in P9, and Ryan Lim in P10. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 30 seconds left into the race. This will be the deciding moment of our bronze class drivers. Who will win? Who will be the champion of bronze class today? It's going to be a very, very tight race, ladies and gentlemen, here at Dubai Autodrome. The lights are going to turn on soon as we're approaching the last 10 seconds of the race. With the lights turning red, ladies and gentlemen, the last race of bronze class, and let's see. And here we go as the race has started right now. Nicholas getting a good start right now. Yash Koyum also getting a good start as well, keeping himself away from the other drivers. Will any chaos happen in turn 1? As if race number 1 just now. Right now, Pratama is surrounded by a lot of cars along himself as well. He's getting a bit of a physical touch there, but he's still keeping himself in composure. No drama, no fuss so far. Yash Koyum is still able to hold on to his P1, followed by Nicholas in P2, Eric in P3, and Fahim P4, and Rennie in P5. Pratama looking through his front, finding an opportunity to overtake the Mercedes right now. So far, keeping it very close and tidy as well. It seems that he's keeping it very, very nice. No fuss, no drama yet so far. So far, everyone's keeping it very, very clean.
Yeah, and that really, really speaks to how important this race is for some of these drivers. Eric Satria now up into P2, right in behind his championship rival there, Yash Kaiyum. Now, Yash Kaiyum is a very fast driver. We know this from his recovery drive earlier, but now that he is in completely clean air, we can really see how far he can stretch the Corvette's legs there. We know Yash Kaiyum to be a really good driver. The moment he gets into his flow state, his race pace, he is almost completely untouchable by the drivers behind him. As they're battling for this position right now, Eric Satria is 2 seconds down on Yash Kaiyum. Remember, deciding race, if Eric Satria wins this, he is going to end up pipping Yash Kaiyum from that championship. Right now, they are 10 points separated. So, right now, Randy Go in P3, Nicholas Tan P4, Pratama Haji down in P5, Naufal Aziz in jumping up past Naufal Faiz in P6. Both of them driving AMGs as well. The Corvette of Audrey Fernando is right behind them. Right, very, very neat and tidy, as you mentioned before. No big incidents, but that is because most of these drivers know exactly what is at stake.
That is true. As now we can see, Yash Koyum is giving himself a very comfortable lead of 2.2 seconds away. Like we said just now, he's a very great driver. He knows he has the pace. Now he is in P1. He is comfortable. He will do his best to run away from the pack as much as he can. No disturbance, no drama. Followed by Eric right now in P2, fighting against Randy Go, which is in the Mercedes right now, keeping it very, very close right now with a 0.9, almost 1 second gap between each other. Not so much of a fuss yet between other drivers as well. And now, as I'm seeing here, everyone is keeping themselves very, very close between each other. Very, very nice, very clean and tidy between everyone. So far, no fuss. Nicholas as well right now. In front of him is Randy Go, trying to chase, trying to close the gap between himself and the other drivers right now. Naufal Afif is currently fighting against Pratama, going through the straights, Will the Mercedes get the speed away from the Corvette? Now this is, like I said, this is a point where overtakes can happen, especially to see who will brake first, who will be the brave person to take over the inside. But so far the drivers, they're keeping it. Naufal taking a bit of the inside, closing himself against Pratama right now, keeping it very, very close. But so far, no fuss, no drama yet. I said yet twice.
Yeah, you did. So, Eric Satria, you can see the gap between him and Yash Kayum is just absolutely widening right now. And despite the fact that Eric Satria isn't really contending with anyone in his space, he just doesn't have the same amount of pace that Yash Kayum has in terms of the race itself. So, Eric Satria does have a tall ask of him. We're about 3.5 minutes down in the race for the time period. Eric Satria there still holding on. Randy Go is looking for an opportunity, but he's not close enough to really make it happen yet. As I say that, is about half a second down, so he is still in the draft at the start-finish straight here. Behind, Nicholas Tan holding strong to that P4 spot, fending off Pratama Aji. They're about 2 seconds behind the closest car in front of him here, but Pratama Aji is going to be using, giving Naufal Afif the draft. Bit of contact coming into turn 1 right now as Naufal Afif goes in on the inside. Naufal Faiz is about to do the same thing as well. Doesn't make it through this time around. Pratama Aji ended up losing a position to Naufal Afif. So now he's trapped in between a Naufal and a Naufal.
That is a very brave drive by Naufal Afif just now. Even though he's getting squeezed by Pratama, he still keeps his line. And although there was a bit of a slight body contact there, he still keeps his composure and finishes the move and get his position away from Pratama right now. Pratama right now getting sandwiched in between 2 Mercedes right now and 2 Naufals as well. Will he be able to keep his composure? We will see sooner or later. And right now we are seeing Ryan Lim is behind Fatur Rahman, going inside, outside in the Aston. He will see if there's an opportunity to take from the outside, braking. Almost, not that much, but he's seeing the opportunity from inside. He's taking it. Fatur Rahman did not expect that move, but Fatur Rahman is not giving up yet. But immediately Ryan closed the door, not letting chance for Fatur Rahman to do any kinds of move there, and secured another position, currently in P8. What a move by Ryan Lim just now.
Yeah, good use of pressure in order to make Fatur Rahman, cause Fatur Rahman to make a mistake there, to seize advantage of the position and then take that corner away and run away with the position as well. P8, as you mentioned before, now just behind Naufal Faiz, about a second down on the current battle for P5. Meanwhile, further ahead, the gap between Yash Kayum and Eric Satria is extending even further. 3 seconds this time around, and that is testament to, as I mentioned before, how Yash Kayum can just run away with the lead if you let him. Give him an opportunity, give him an inch, and he'll take a mile there, as we've just seen there. Amazing stuff from him. Less than 10 minutes left for the race to happen, and Nicholas Tan is going to lose a position here to Naufal Afif. Very, very good overtake for him. Pratama Aji is also close behind him. Nicholas Tan losing a bit of speed here in the corners and the first sector. Losing even more speed, and he gets hunted there by Pratama Aji. He's off in facing the wrong way completely, and that is going to put paid to his entire attempts for this particular race. 8 minutes left, he's P14. Going to be a very, very tall ask for him to make it through, but here comes Ryan. He is now in P7. He's going to try and see if he can make it past Naufal Faiz, who is getting blocked by Pratama Aji, but he does have the advantage of the draft. So Ryan Lim right now, slowing it down, making sure, looking at the surroundings, making sure he's not going to end up caught up in any situations that is unfavorable to him. Coming in on the inside right now, he's very, very close to Naufal Faiz. In fact, almost made it through if it wasn't for the fact that Pratama Aji is still blocking him. They're too wide right now, forming a barricade that Ryan Lim can just not seem to get through. As Fatur Rahman is also closing the gap, and now he goes in for the dive. He's on the inside. It is 2 lanes of 2 cars going into the final 3 corners of the race right now. Very, very packed. Ronaldo just behind in the Corvette as well. This is a massive, massive battle. 5 cars here arguing, debating. Not debating, they're not using their mouse, they're driving. What am I talking about? But yes, they are still competing for this P5 slot. Naufal Faiz now making it past, and Ryan Lim, he gets punted and he's gone off.
Oh no, that one. Oh, but not
more
only
cars
him.
have gone off.
Ronaldo got punted. Another driver got punted as well. Ronaldo has spun completely facing the wrong direction.
Oh, the rejoin!
That is a very, very dangerous rejoin by Ronaldo there. I would definitely need a new pair of hands if he were to do that in front of me right now. And
Oh my
he punted
God.
Wilson. Woo! And Wilson right now, due to Ronaldo's mistake, has been spun and lost a few more positions to the back. What is happening to Ronaldo just now? Definitely losing a lot of composure. But now we're going back to battle. Naufal Faiz right now is fighting against Pariwat right now in the Lambo. Right now going from the outside, picking on the outside, picking on the inside, keeping it very, very close between each other. As we can see, Luke Morales right behind them right now as well, trying to join in the battle. What a crazy drive by everyone just now. Crazy. As we can see, Naufal seeking from the space from the inside, probably getting a better speed. But so far, keeping it very close to Pariwat. Pariwat holding on to the inside. Naufal going from the outside, holding on to the middle. Will there be a move? Luke Morales going from the furthest outside, trying to make this into a 3 wide. Will there be any moves so far? No, Pariwat keeping his position away as
that's
at the back.
That is Nicholas Tanda. He's gone off again. I wonder if it was due to contact with another driver, but he is just going from bad to worse there. His luck in this race is definitely not in his favor. Down all the way to P20. And as we mentioned before, this entire catalyst of events, the catalyst of it was that exit into the third sector almost half a lap ago, where Ryan Lim, despite being punted off, going wide and spinning out, only lost 2 positions.
Only lost a position.
Yeah. In fact, he only lost 1. He was battling for P6 earlier, and he actually made it up to P7. Somehow, Fatur Rahman is ahead of him just by a hair, about 0.8 of a second, and behind, in front of Fatur Rahman is Fahim Hattat, as a matter of fact. And now they're coming into the start-finish straight. Ryan Lim is going to try and close the gap again. Meanwhile, at the front, it is absolutely a lonely island here for Yash Qayyum. 4 seconds ahead of Eric Satria.
He is just building the gap lap per lap per lap. Yash Qayyum is in the zone, ladies and gentlemen. He is being a lone driver, a lone wolf out there, putting on his dominance. You know, showing that once he is in his flow state, when he is in the zone, he is able to build the gap bit by bit, lap by lap, from what I would say 1 second now to up to 4 seconds. That is a very long gap between himself and P2 at the back. So pretty much Yash Qayyum is in a quite comfortable position right now.
Yeah, as you say that, he goes wide. As a matter of fact, the big issue for Yash Qayyum is that currently Eric Satria is 10 points ahead of him in the standings. Eric Satria finished 4 positions ahead of Yash Qayyum the last race. So even with this current race win, we still don't know exactly what the gap is between the driver, whether or not Yash Qayyum actually made it past Eric Satria in the championship standings. To be safe for him, Eric would have had to be at least 2 cars down. So he would have to be in P4. But because he's in P2 right now, the standings are still up in the air. So 3.5 minutes left in the race. We still don't know who's going to end up taking the championship win. But for the race win in particular, Yash Qayyum is making a very, very strong case for himself right now. Meanwhile, the back there, Ryan Lim was in P7, somehow ended up in P12. I think he might have gone to spun out yet again. So not a very good race for him after a very, very convincing race 1 win. Now the tides of fortune have turned against him, pushing him down all the way to P12, right in front of Jeremy Yao, behind Luke Morales.
Definitely, I would say Ryan Lim is not in a very lucky position right now. He might have used all of his luck in the first race right now, but now he is in P12. He has 3 cars in front of him, 3 exact Mercedes right in front of him right now, trying to see if there will be any battle happening and see if he can use that battle as an opportunity to overtake, as he's closing the gap between himself and Luke Morales. Naufal keeping it very close. These 3 cars are a hair between each other. I smell an incident going to happen if these 3 were to not drive properly, but so far these 3 are keeping it very close. Naufal and Ryan Lim looking from the inside, probably trying to take the inside of Luke Morales, but Luke Morales said, no, I'm not gonna let that happen. as Luke Morales powers the way in the Mercedes, running away from Ryan Lim as much as he can. But at the same time as well, Naufal is facing two other cars in front of him right now. As I can see, Dave Chen is fighting against a Lamborghini, probably getting a position away. But Naufal is also joining in the fight. He wants a piece of that pie. David went outside. Pariwa keeping on the inside. Naufal keeping on the outside. Who will do? But that's a very close incident. Naufal, good news, he did not cause any accidents. Bad news, he kind of went overshot there a bit.
I think it was because the car in front of him braked too soon. So he wasn't expected that. He was expected to be able to make a dive on the outside to see if he can make a move. But because of the obstacle in his way, he had to swerve out of the way. And as you swerve, you lose braking force, which means you don't slow down enough for the next corner. Really paid for it there is going to be Naufal. Meanwhile, the cars in front of him, of course, we have Dave Chen there holding up the rest of the pack just out of reach of P8. Luke Morales there making it past Pariwa. Pariwa is now rounding out the top 10. Ryan Lim made a position up in front of Naufal Faiz. We'll have to see if he can make it past Pariwa to still end up in the points here for race 2. 1 minute left in the race, and Ryan Lim just goes off. The commentator's curse strikes again. He is definitely not having the time of his life right now. In fact, I would argue against it. He is definitely having what Daniel Powder would call a bad day. Yash Kayyum there is still holding on to that lead, 4.7 seconds ahead of Eric Satria right now. There is no way Eric Satria can make this gap back, barring a huge mistake. Randy Go about another 2.5 seconds just behind there, still on the podium. And very, very comfortable, as a matter of fact, as Naufal Aziz is 7 seconds behind. So right now, the positions for the entire grid have pretty much been decided, barring any more huge mistakes, which doesn't seem to be the case for the cars in front. They haven't made a mistake all race. I don't think they'll be making a mistake right now. So definitely very, very good drive from all of them. But the focus right now is on the battle you are seeing on your screens. Luke Morales and Dave Chen arguing and fighting for that P8 spot. This is going to be the last lap of the race. They're not going to be able to cross the line in time for another lap. So it is do or die right now for these two drivers. Either hold the position or lose it. Right now, Luke Morales goes in for the late break. Doesn't make it past. In fact, it's too far behind for it. But still trying to look for a gap, look for an opening. Gap between them is 0.3 of a second. The cars behind are pretty much out of the equation. These two drivers are in a battle of their own completely. Dave Chen is going to be holding on, but in front, Yash Kayyum there as he rounding out the final corner. He is going to be your race 2 winner. Brilliant drive from him after an even more brilliant drive from him last race. Eric Satria there going to end the championship in P2, Randy Go in P3. Let's see if Naufal Aziz is about to cross the line. Yes, he just entered the start, finished straight. In P4, Fahim Hatta about 2 seconds behind him in P5. Haziq here, P6 out of everything. Luke Morales is not able to make the pass out to Dave Chen. He's going to have to settle for P9. The car behind it running out the P10. Top 10 is going to be Pariwan in the Lamborghini. Jeremy Yao in P11. Naufal Faiz P12. Muhammad Yanwa P13. Pratama Aji started off in the front of the pack. Unfortunately, did not pan out for him. Pratama Aji in P14 with Ryan Lim as well. P15. Ayman, Dimas, Jordan, Nicholas, and Ozair running out the top 20 drivers on the grid. Right now, we still don't know who won.
We do not.
No, we don't know who won the championship. We know who won the race. We don't know who won the championship. So we're going to have to wait for the scores to be tabulated. But what an absolute race. Absolute unit of a race.
Yes, definitely. Yash Kayyum just giving him his absolute best, pushing himself to P1, creating the at least 5-second gap between himself and Eric. But at the same time, Eric as well is doing quite a good job keeping P2 from himself. You know, he knows that if he falls even down further, that would definitely decrease his chance of winning against Yash Kayyum. So also a good job by Eric Satria as well, keeping the Ford Mustang in check as well. But definitely, I would say one of the drives just now that we were, I would say it was by Ryan Lim just now. A bit of I would say kerfuffle. Spinning here left and right. He was in a good position of getting top 10 just now, but sadly, he has let that go.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him. He still has that race 1 win, so definitely still something to be proud of. And that will be the end of the Bronze class for Global Edition Season 18. And I can definitely tell you it has absolutely delivered, both in terms of the race itself, as well as the absolute carnage that has happened over the course of the last 30 minutes. But we do still have one more race. It is multi-class, so even more chaos is probably something that all of us can be looking forward to. Gold and silver class. We'll be right back after these messages.
Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Welcome back to eRacing GP Global Edition Season 18, where we are now down to our last two races of the season. Dubai Autodrome, Silver and Gold class. This is, of course, a multi-class race. If you are familiar with the Global Edition format, you won't be surprised by this development. The Silvers are in a race of their own, but they're also sharing the track with the Gold rivals, who are in a race of their own as well. And to give it even more impact, the cars that they will be driving this time around over the course of the entire season are some of the fastest cars in the world. We're of course talking about the Le Mans hypercars and the LMP2 class.
Definitely, those two categories are probably one of the most top categories especially in the Le Mans category or in the endurance race categories. Very fast. I would say electric motors and plus engines. Basically, they're hybrids, but they're not environmentally friendly. Probably they're designed to be as fast as possible. Definitely, it's going to be another race, a very interesting race to see between these two classes fighting against each other as well.
Yes, so without any further ado, let's hop in for the final set of races this time around. These are the driver standings. Mohammed Tasbih there comfortably in front. with 109 points ahead of Kanzani Ramdani with 74. Raja Amiro Shaukat down there in P3. Sai Sudhakar in P4. Keith Mo had a great start to the season. Unfortunately, throughout the rest of the season, he ended up not finishing well enough. He's now sharing P5 with Cameron James. Fadi Rahma in P7. Imarayan and Alonso tied for P8 with Gerlandi Haki rounding out the top 10. But of course, we do have drop scores. And with the drop scores, it suddenly looks a lot closer. We have Muhammad Tasbih, P1, 74 points. Kanzani Ramdani, 8 points behind in P2. So a good position for either of these drivers will swing the results in their favor. Sai Sudhakar in P3, Fali Rahmat, P4, Raja Amiru Shaukat down from P3 into P5 there. 1 point ahead of Iman Ryan. Cameron James, P7, Keith Mo, Alonso, and Gerlandi Haki still in the top 10.
Definitely an interesting. Oh, now we're going to the driver standings for the silver class. We have Denzel Whiten currently in 84 points. Suka Pino with 72. Ethan Lau in 64. Chesel Elok with 62. Apisak currently in 58. Chong Jin Bin, a friend of mine as well, in 48. Tehan Aranga at 37, Alberto 33, Azib Shami Mokhtar in 30, and Savin Prapachov in 29.
Yeah, and these are the scores with the drop points. That's a Waitan, way out in front. Almost completely unassailable there. Chester Elot there, about 25 points away. So, unless Denzel Waitan DNFs both races, pretty much has the race in the bag. But it is going to be too soon to tell. In fact, I may have just cursed him by talking about it right now. Meanwhile, in P3, Sukapino in third place with 54 points. Apisat Chokiti Worakul in P4 there, 5 points behind. Ethan Lau, another 5 points behind in P5. Chong Jin Bin, P6. Tehan Iranga, Alberto, Azib, and Savin rounding out the top 10. So, without further ado, we are now in the qualifying session. Actually, we're just about to start the qualifying session, and doesn't look like there's too many drivers on the grid this time around. Only about 11 cars, so we might end up seeing closer racing and less chaotic racing.
Oh, I was hoping for the chaotic part, but that's okay. I will take it.
Yeah, but I don't think the silver class cars are in. There they are.
Yeah, there they are. Yes, as there will be a lot more people joining in as well. So it's going to be a very interesting race, people.
Yeah.
Total, how many drivers we have for silver and gold?
On the grid right now, about 21. 26. A lot of cars. Okay, so I take that back. Doesn't look like we don't have a full 40 car grid. We still have 26 cars, which is still a lot. And of course, cars of differing performance on track right now. LMPH and LMP2 are going to be sharing the grid, and definitely a world of performance difference between these two cars right now, and even faster than the GT3s we saw last race. And we all know what happened in the last two races. Absolute chaos. But these drivers, they're in the gold and silver class for a good reason, and that reason is they are the cream of the crop in terms of eRacing GP drivers.
Yes, we now currently see on our camera Muhammad Tasbih in the BMW doing his outlap in a very, very beautiful BMW livery, going through his outlap. He does have he has only one traffic with Kanzaini right now in front, but I don't think that should be able to bother him, as the gap between them is quite significant as well. But as well, I would say Tasbih has a chance here to give a good time as well. Currently, they have 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to perform their lap. So these drivers, after going through the last few corners, will begin their outlap. Will they be able to succeed? Who will be taking the pole positions in their respective classes as they're going through the final corner right now? Kanzaini, Muhammad Tasbih starting the outlap. He is pushing the BMW, pushing there and revving it up to almost 8,000 RPM, going to 270 kilometers, almost 300 going to the first corner. Going through a bit of a lockup probably there by Kanzaini, but Tasbih keeping it very, very clean, taking the curve inside, outside, very, very well. She's looking very, very calm. That's what we need. That's the epitome of, I would say, a very good driver, keeping themselves calm while during quali, even though surrounded by a lot of cars. Because if you guys look at the map right now, although there's not many cars, but they are closely packed between each other. And again, Kanzaini is probably locking up this car's tire right now as they're going through the straights, pushing it. That would be Ahmad Jusmin apparently not serving his outlap, just waiting on the outside.
Yeah, problems there for him in particular. I think he ended up spinning out on his outlaps, which is why he's so far behind everything else. You mentioned just now that Tasbe looks like he was locking up his tires at the end of the start-finish straight. It definitely from the cockpit cam, you can definitely see how much elevation change there is from the start of the straight to the end, where it goes sharply downhill. And because it's going sharply downhill and you're going nearly 300 Ks, your braking distance is basically about 15 to 20% more than what it normally would have been if it was just a flat elevation. So you definitely have to factor in for that, and you can see just how much speed they have to scrub off before they enter turn 1 there. Kanzani Ramdani is not that far ahead of Tasbe considering where they started on the qualifying grid, so Tasbe here might be putting out a best time for the time. It does look like it, but sides to the car, not that far behind him as well. In fact, it's about a 1/10 of a second. Tasbe is going to reset and redo that, go back to his outlap. We'll see if he'll be able to make it happen. He's looking forward to driving into clean air. Meanwhile, sides to the car here in the Acura hypercar is in first place. Kanzani Ramdani dropped about half a second to both these drivers in P3. Raja Amiro Shaukat in P4, a 10th down further. Keith Mo, P5, Chester Elot in the LMP2 class somehow ended up P6.
Yes, we can. Right now, we're watching Chester Elot right now pushing his car, going through, I would say, the first sector, doing almost close into the bank. He will be approaching to the very long straight after this. Will he be able to get as much speed as he can from his car right now as he's going through the straights? He has a lot of space. He does not have a driver in front nor behind, so he has a lot of space to drive himself here right now. No disturbance. Currently, he is placed in P6 with a 146, almost 2 seconds away or behind from Keith right now. Will he be able to pull it off? Let's see how Chester Elot does his drive right now.
I mean, he doesn't have to compete them. They're in different classes.
True.
So his current competitor is Ethan. Ethan is about 1/100th of a second behind him, 0.01. And Denzel is also not that far behind, about 3/10 separating these top 3 drivers in the silver class right now. So very, very good position for them to be in. Chester Elot going to have to get even better of a flying lap this time around if he wants to be comfortably ahead of Ethan and Denzel. We're on board with Ethan right now. You can see him on the screen in the bottom right corner there. Very, very young driver, of course, is going to see whether or not he can make that miracle lap happen and make it past Chester. Chester, over the course of the last season, has been very, very good in qualifying. However, in terms of race pace, hasn't really had the results he wanted. If he usually when he's at the start of the race 1, he'll do pretty well if he starts in the front. But when it comes to the reverse grid order, he has to start from the back, and it becomes a bit of a problem for him. But of course, because the reverse grid does not discriminate between gold and silver cars, as long as he finishes in P10, he's going to end up starting in front, and then behind him is going to be all the hypercars. So Raja Amiro Shaukat now in front, pipping sides to the car by about 2/10, 143.3 with the Aston Martin hypercar there. Beautiful looking car, probably one of the most unique designs out of all the Le Mans hypercars there. Sides to the car is still on his other flying lap. We'll have to see if he'll be able to improve on the time that he set a bit earlier. 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. It looks like he might be able to squeeze out 2 more laps. As long as he doesn't end up sacking one of them. Iman Rayan there, P3. Also very, very close to size to the car is the can't tell, that's a Glickenhaus anyway.
Yeah, it is a Glickenhaus, yes.
Yeah, it's a Glickenhaus hypercar. In front of Muhammad Tasbih. Muhammad Tasbih in front of Standish right now, but really, really not getting that BMW to go around the track as fast as he would have liked. Right now, down to P4, 3 minutes left in qualifying. He is going to be able to maybe get 2 more laps as well here. Kanzani Ramdani, where is he on track right now? We'll see if he's gotten an improvement on the time, because he doesn't seem to have really managed to improve his time over the course of the qualifying session. And remember, you only have about 10 minutes, 7 minutes if you're taking out the outlap. So not a lot of room for him. Gotta make sure he keeps it nice and tidy. That Ferrari there really seems to be giving him a hard time around this track in particular.
Yeah, currently he is placed in P5. Again, he locked up his brake during the last corner there. Definitely not going to be helpful for him. As now we are watching Tasby currently in P3 while pushing his BMW to the absolute limit right now, keeping himself very, very close to P2, which is Sai. Almost the same time, they are both in the 143 timing, 143.5 timing, but only 0.02 seconds of a difference between these two drivers right now. Will Tasby be able to push himself in this outlap, as right now we have 1 minute and 50 seconds left, give or take? That should be another one lap for our drivers to secure their placement with their drive. Raja Amiro Shaukat in the Aston Martin going back out again after a superb outlap. Right now is attempting another one. Probably he's trying to break himself another record. He's currently in 143.34. Will he be able to do it faster? Will he not? Let's see that. As well, right now in front of him would be Kanzaini right now, if I'm seeing it correctly, in the Ferrari. But that should not be, I would say, would not disturb him as well, as Raja Amir Shakat should have more than enough space to navigate, as Kanzaini right now is giving him way, or probably as well to use him as a drop. But right now, Kanzaini did give space to Raja Amir Shakat, letting him do his outlap right now.
Yeah, Raja Amir Shakat there, pretty comfortable in front. We'll have to see if Sai Sudakar will be able to make it past him. As we try to look at Sai Sudakar on the track right now, I think he's about to cross the start-finish straight here. Oh no, he's in the sector behind. Yeah, so Muhammad Tasbi actually there, 143.1, taking over the position of Raja Amir Shaukat there, just pipping him. So Raja Amir Shaukat, he is on his outlap. We'll have to see if he'll be able. I think he should be able to have one more lap in him, and losing that position definitely is going to be difficult, especially because Tasbi is so high up in the scoreboard. So Tasbi, 0.2 of a second gap he has to make up, and Raja Amir Shaukat is running in completely clean air compared to the bronze and copper classes. For the hypercar class specifically, I think having a draft partner for qualifying is much more important than it would have been for the other two classes, because of how fast these cars are going. It could mean the difference between getting 303 at the end of the back straight versus 299. And it looks like he sagged the line completely. He didn't like the line that he took over the first sector there. So this is going to be the end of Raja Amiro Shakat's qualifying. Meanwhile, Sai Sudakar there, he is about to cross the start finish straight. Will he be able to improve on his time? He does not. So he's going to have to be happy and content with that P3. Iman Ryan just behind him in P4. He's about to cross the start finish straight as well. So we'll see if he'll be able to improve on his time.
And keeping a very good, beautiful line there as he's crossing the finish line. Will he be able to do better?
No.
Well,
okay, Kanzaini Ramdani next. He is still on track, about to enter the third and final sector of the last qualifying lap of the race, just before we enter into the standing start. He is currently into the right-hander. 3 more corners will determine whether or not he improves on his time. P5 right now, not a good spot for him. He wants to be higher up. He wants to start in the first 2 rows of the grid here. But we'll have to see if he'll be able to keep that Ferrari tamed all the way until the end. As you mentioned before, he has locked up his tires a couple of times. Might be a detriment to their current condition in terms of qualifying pace. So, final corner now. He's going downhill into the final right-hander. Ooh, bit of a slide there as he's entering the corner, but I think that might have given him the angle to exit very neat and tidy. Does he improve on his time? He does, but not enough to get him out of P5.
He tried his best, definitely improve a bit of his time, but he's unable to do so by giving his rival Muhammad Tasbi right now very comfortable in P1 in his BMW with 143.15. He did his best, but not good enough probably.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for him. He's going to be ended up starting in 5th, and he's got 4 cars to contend with before he can make it to the front of the pack. And looking at the way he is handling that Ferrari right now, it might be harder than you think. So, Muhammad Tasbi is going to be the qualifying pole position for the gold class. In the silver class, we do have Chester Elock there in P7 overall, starting in 1st for the silver class. But Ethan and Denzel, his 2 closest rivals, are right behind him. Denzel, of course, the highest point scorer in the silver class right now. he is still doing pretty well for himself. P3 in class is not a bad spot for him to be in. As long as he can make it past Ethan and Chester, he's pretty much got this entire race on lock, barring a huge mistake.
Yeah, so far we are now awaiting for our drivers to be on their starting grids right after this as well. So, what would you expect to happen for our silver and gold class today?
It's a very loaded question. Try to avoid asking this, although I've definitely asked this to my co-commentators some other times. I try not to make predictions because, of course, predictions can go horribly wrong, and as we've seen before in the bronze class, whoever is on top doesn't necessarily stay on top or finish on top. So, I'm pretty confident in saying Tasbih has got the lock on the gold class right now because Raja Amir Shaka is one of my friends. He's definitely a very, very fast driver. Was started out from copper last year and now he's already in gold class. Very, very good driver there. Science Sudakar as well. He's got very, very good qualifying pace, but his race pace sometimes the car does get away from him a bit, and he's ended up in positions where he really pushes the car a bit too much and ends up paying the price for it. So, starting P3 right now, I've got 45 seconds till race start. I'm maybe jinxing him here, but I'm going to put my money on Tasbih.
Okay, yeah, I would say I would like to put my money on Tasbih as well. So far, he is keeping a very good time just now during qualifying time. As now we are 30 seconds away from our last event of the night. I would say second last event. We have another race after this, which is still in the gold and silver class. But this will be the first race for them as we are approaching 50 seconds away. Lights are going to turn on soon, ladies and gentlemen. As the lights are going to turn red, it is going to begin the first race of our gold and silver class. And as the light turns out, the drivers are out and go as well right now. Sai is going through, being in the middle of the pack. Oh no, he is behind the Aston Martin as Tasbih has fallen down one position. The Aston Martin is taking the lead right now as they're approaching the first corner. The Ferrari is taking the inside, a bit of a
Whoa!
and physical contact there. Sai has spun out. Is this the commentator's curse?
Okay.
Did we-
Okay, in my defense, this is not the first time. Sai Sudakar is an amazingly, impressively fast driver, but he does tend to end up in situations unfavorable to him in like as you just seen, and I feel like it's happened a lot of times. I end up commentating, so maybe I am the curse. So
Yeah.
regardless of that, he is going to be dropping all the way down to P17 right now. Another Herculean task is awaiting him to make it into the top 10 for that reverse grid finish. Tasbih there in P3, dropping to Kanzani Ramdani. Kanzani Ramdani, you would think he's sandbagging the qualifying because he's currently in P2. As you can see, massive piles of smoke coming out from the three cars there, locking up their brakes after the back straight. Raja Amir Shaukat there, now a second clear of the rest of the pack. Muhammad Tasbih is going to see if he can make it past this time around. It's just, there's so much smoke going all over the place.
Yeah, they're pushing their cars to the limit right now as Raja Shaukat is being very comfortable running away in his Aston Martin right now, despite I would say being in P3 in our quali earlier, but he has managed to go through, to sift through lap 1 chaos very, very well, and keeping his P1 right now to himself and building the gap as much as he can. But at the same time as well, Iman Ryan right now looking behind Muhammad Tasbih. At the same time as well, Muhammad Tasbih is looking at Kanzani's Ferrari, trying to see a bit of an opportunity there. But let's see if anything were to happen on the first turn, as all of them opted to stay on the outside. No moves are to be done here. Everyone is trying, I would say everyone is trying to keep the gaps to themselves, maybe analyze their opponents first and see if there's any moves to be done here, because they have 12 minutes and 50 seconds, everyone. So they have, I would say, quite a plenty of time to analyze and see what they can do, you know, to overtake their opponents in the front. But Iman Ryan is definitely keeping a very healthy gap between himself and P3 and P2 right now.
Yeah, talking about the front pack right now, very, very, very typical grid order for these drivers. Of course, very familiar with all 5 of them. Very, very prominent around eRacing GP. And we have a very solid measurement of their abilities. So Iman Ryan, they're trying to see if he can go on the outside of Tasbih and switch back around, but he's going to be on the outside for the next corner, so Tasbih is going to be able to hold that position away as they're in the 3rd sector right now. Kanzani Ramdani still in P2, holding strong, but losing just a little bit of time to the drivers behind, who are in a contest of their own, where Keith Mo is sneaking back, holding back, looking for an advantage to see whether he can make it through. Meanwhile, in the silver class, we have Ethan Lau there in P6, mini past Chester E-Log, and Denzel is now stuck in P11, so pretty far back, but still P3 in class, so he's not going to be too despondent about that. Chong Jin Bin here. Oh, I made a mistake. Chong Jin Bin is the current P3 for LMP2, which means Denzel is in P4. So, as a matter of fact, it does seem that Denzel would probably, in his best interest, want to make it past this guy in order to keep the points that he needs to absolutely be in front of everybody else. Sukar Pino, I take that back. Denzel is now P5 in class. He is behind 2 cars here. Denzel Waitan is going to have a Herculean task ahead of him as sides to the car, of course, because of the multi-class racing, is back up in P7. So great racing for him as well. He's going to see if he can make it past Ethan here in the slower LMP2 car. Once he does, he has full reign to go hog wild, try to catch up to the rest of the pack in front.
Will he be able to do so? Let's see how he can do after. Will he be able to do a successful recovery drive here as he is overtaking Ethan Lau? Ethan Lau is not giving a fight. He knows that is not his battle to fight. So he will let Sai overtake and let Sai do his job fighting his own class. But Chester Elot right now, seeing that opportunity because of that space that Ethan Lau gave, Chester has a bit of a speed to catch up to Ethan Lau right now, keeping the gaps very, very close to each other. Chester will be seeing an opportunity here to overtake Ethan Lau. But so far, the gap is keeping very, very close to themselves as right now. But I'm seeing on the timing here, it seems that Muhammad Tasbih and Iman Ryan are still keeping close to each other with at least 0.3 seconds away. But Keith as well is, Tasbih, Iman, and Kazani are keeping them close between each other. P2, P3, P4, all of them are fighting, going through the last corner. Raja Shaukat is still 1 second away.
Big lock there from Kazani Ramdani. Scrubbing off way too much speed on the exit there, but because of his position, he's able to defend from an overtake by Tasbih. However, Tasbih does have to drop, and now he is absolutely closing the gap, smashing the distance between them, going in for the dive on the inside, pulls up alongside, makes the move onto Kazani Ramdani. Will he be able to hold it? Bit of contact on the rear of Mohammad Tasbih by Kazani, but he holds strong, takes that position away, and brilliant move coming in from Tasbih.
Beautiful, very beautiful, and brave move by Tasbih as well. Especially in being in an LMP hypercar, you will be afraid, you'll be a bit too scared to push your car to the limit there. But Tasbih keeping his calm composure, a bit of a slightly contact there just now in turn 1, but he still keeps his composure and takes away P2 from Kanzaini right now. As now Kanzaini will be needing to gain back his time to chase P2. But Iman right now and Keith is drafting between again with each other. It will be a 3-car battle going through the corner here, and it seems like Keith breaking
Big dive!
And that's an accident, that's a spin and a bump by Keith, slamming into Kanzaini. Definitely not a very good looking move there. Not gonna look good in his resume probably.
Yeah, that was a massive dive there. I think he braked and he ended up braking way too late.
Yeah.
And overshot the exit completely, and Kazani, really the biggest loser out of all that exchange, ended up losing 2 positions, now down to P5. That battle he has with Tasbih is but a waking dream now. Kazani Ramdani in a very, very precarious spot because he is so far behind Tasbih that losing any more than 1 position behind him is going to be an absolute nightmare for him. Tasbih, in the meanwhile, has already narrowed the gap between him and Raja Amir Shaukat. Was 1.8 seconds at the start of the lap, now down to just a second. Once he gets caught in that draft, it's going to be a very, very close battle. And for Tasbih, another Tuesday for him. He's going to try to make that pass happen.
Yeah, Raja Amir Shaukat right now will be facing the pressure from Muhammad Tasbih, as now instead of 0.9, it's 0.8. My bad, it's 0.7 right now. Muhammad Tasbih is definitely putting the hammer down to chase the Aston Martin in through the corners. Definitely, Raja Amir Shaukat will definitely feel the pressure after this as they're going through the bank corner and will be going powering himself through this race. Raja Amir Shaukat will need to stay strong in order to keep himself in P1 right now. But Muhammad Tasbih definitely will not give up as he will push his BMW as well to get that P1 he deserves.
Yeah, and for a driver that is out in front, clean air is probably like the best place you want to be. But also the detriment is that if you are going to suffer in the corners and the straights because you're not having his draft, the cars at the back, if you know they're faster than you, they're going to be faster than you. As we mentioned right now, however, that big lockup at the end of the back straight did cost Mohamed Tasbih a bit of time. Not much, only about a tenth, so he'll be able to make it up in some other places, like right here in the banked corner, now down to about 0.6 seconds. And both of these cars are basically stretching the gap between them and P3 even further down. Iman Ryan, 1.2 seconds behind. Keith Moore, another 4 seconds behind. Kanzani Ramdani now has picked up the pace and is trailing Keith Moore to the point where we could see an overtake happen pretty soon.
Yes, definitely. For now, Mohamed Tasbih is still trying his best. He has shortened the gap right now to 0.5. You can see he keeps locking his brake. He's pushing the car to the limits right now. He has a chance to overtake Raja Amirul Shaukat in the Aston Martin. Probably, I would assume, in the middle sector there. But let's see what Mohamed Tasbih can do with the BMW there right now. As well, like you said just now, he is also building the gap between himself and Iman Ryan. As now the gap is increasing to 1 second, making this a 1-2 battle between these two giants. One a UK giant, another a German giant right now. As they're going through the straights, this will be another point. Who will brake first? Who will brake later? This will be another a point where you can definitely close the gap between each other. As now we can see, Raja Amir Shaukat definitely braked a bit too hard there, but still keeping his position close, or keeping his position away from Mohamed Tasbih. Tasbih is still unable to close the gap though.
Yeah, 5 minutes left in the race. They're going to have maybe 2 or 3 more laps before they reach the end here. So Tasbih is going to be a bit more anxious in terms of mounting an attack. He is right now a bit over half a second behind Raja Amir Shaukat, but that dive is so close and immediately shortened the gap by 0.2. Iman Ryan as well doing the same thing, keeping the gap between them as narrow as possible. So they end up in the draft at the start-finish straight, and Tasbih going really hard on the entry, but also keeping the exit very, very neat and tidy. And he is in the draft right now. We'll see if he'll be able to make it to the end of the straight just alongside Raja Amir Shaukat. Not close enough. I don't think Raja Amir Shaukat does break a bit early. To be fair, right now Tasbih is going to be very, very close. 0.3 seconds separating these two drivers. And Iman Ryan, 0.6 seconds as well. We could end up seeing a very, very heated battle near the end of the race for this P1 position.
Yeah, I definitely noticed Tasbih is doing really well at the bank corner on the last sector. That's where he can really, really slow. That's where he can really, really, close his gap between himself and Raja Amir Shaukat. But Raja Amir Shaukat, I noticed in this straight section, he's actually quite fast and he's able to build back the gap that he lost just now, definitely gaining a better exit speed than Mohamed Tasbih. But Mohamed Tasbih, if he can hold on a bit more, going through that last sector, he can definitely have an opportunity to overtake. But Iman Ryan right now also closing the gap. Iman Ryan be like, hey, I want to join in the party as well. Don't count me out just now. But now we're shifting to Chong Jin Bin, fighting against Chester Elog, going through the back, going through the straight. Will he get the draft that he needed? It is currently a 0.7 second gap, so might not be able to get that draft as much as he wants to, but he can definitely have an opportunity if he outbrakes Chester Elog in terms of braking point as well. Right now, keeping it very close. Now we're back to Sai, fighting against Kanzaini right now in the Ferrari. Acura versus Ferrari. Last banking sector corner, doing really, really well, keeping himself very, very close. But at the same time, Kanzaini also keeping himself close to Sai in the front just now, who he actually caused Kanzaini to lose some positions actually. But right now, these three cars are going through the final corner, going through the straights. Sai went a bit wide there, but he has the draft. He has the draft to close in between Kanzaini and Kivmo. Will anything happen here on the first corner? Let's see. So far, they're keeping it very close, very, very close, but no action has been taken by these drivers so far. They're keeping it very, very close, probably saving it for the long straight, as that would be a safe option for them to overtake between each other. But now we're back to P1, P2, and P3 between Raja Amir Shaukat, Mohamed Tasbih, and Iman Ryan, as they are still keeping the battle very, very close to each other. I was expecting Muhammad Tasbih to overtake Raja Amir Shaka in Sector 3, but so far Raja Amir Shaka is doing really well running away from Muhammad Tasbih.
Yeah, I think the Aston Martin might have the slight advantage when it comes to these faster, long-winded corners. But here comes Imran Rayan, massive dive attempt on the outside there. Muhammad Tasbih calls his bluff, takes back the inside apex, pulls him away from that position. So Imran Rayan, now he is going to send a message to Tasbih saying, the car in front of you is not the only competition you have. I'm right behind you as well. Don't count me out just yet. We've got 90 seconds left in the race. Once they cross the start-finish straight, that will be the last lap of race 1. Raja Amir Shaukat holding strong, only about 0.4 of a second in front of Muhammad Tasbih. So if Tasbih wants to mount an attack, he's going to have to do it within this lap itself. Now into the final corner, Imran Rayan, they're also looking for an opportunity to sneak past. All three of them are in this slipstream train. We'll have to see if Imran Rayan can make it past 240, 250, 260. Probably going to end up about 290 down the end of the straight there as they're braking hard into the corner. Keeping it nice and tidy. Tasbih there still holding onto the lead. Kanzani Ramdani and Sai Sudhakar, however, completely different story. They're pulling alongside 2 wide into turn 1. Kanzani Ramdani holding onto the apex on the inside. Sai Sudhakar tried to make the attack happen, was almost rubbing shoulders with Kanzani Ramdani. However, Kanzani Ramdani still holding strong, keeps that position away from him. Sai Sudhakar now has 30 seconds left, or rather he has the rest of this lap in order to make that pass happen. We'll probably be able to see it happen once they hit the back straight, where Kanzani Ramdani will end up having to give Sai Sudhakar the draft needed. Here they come onto the back straight. This is going to be a drag race up until the end. Is Sai Sudhakar close enough to really close the gap between these two drivers? 0.2 seconds, 2/10 separating them. Sai Sudhakar going to try to be brave. He's moving in, weaving onto the inside, brakes hard, brakes a little bit hard. Kanzani Ramdani also smoke coming out of the wheels, probably heavy on the front brake bias, but holding strong still. Sai Sudhakar not giving up just yet. We've got about 4 more corners before the end of the race. They are on the last lap here at Dubai Autodrome for race 1. Kanzani Ramdani, he is under so much pressure right now as they're coming into the final 3 corners, into the banking. They're out of the banking. Ooh, here he comes, Sai Sudhakar. Very, very close. If he's going to make a move, he's going to make it at the end of the final corner here. Raja Amir Shaka holding strong until the end. Finishes race 1 in P1 in the Aston Martin. Muhammad Tasbih unable to close it out. Imran Rayan as well, stuck in P3. The top 3 right now. Kanzani Ramdani holding on to the very end as well. Getting that P4 away from Sai Sudhakar. Sai Sudhakar, after a recovery drive, dropping him down to P20, made it back up all the way to P5.
What a drive by our drivers right now just there. Definitely a battle that I will definitely a battle that I enjoy seeing from our drivers right now. Definitely a crazy battle between them, as now our drivers are crossing the finish line one by one into their respective lines and into their respective classes as well, as there's not much of a fuzz drama except for lap 1 turn 1 event. So far they're keeping it really, really good, really, really tidy as well. Good job by the drivers.
Yeah, so your current overall results, it is of course Raja Amir Shaukat in the Aston Martin P1, Muhammad Tasbih P2, Imran Rayan P3, Kanzani Ramdani in P4, Sai Sudhakar in P5, Keith Mo P6 overall, but 6 in the gold class. Ethan Lau first in the silver class will be in P7, Chester Elong right behind him in P8, Chong Jin Bin is now in P9, with P10 being rounded out by Sukan Pinyo. Sukan Pinyo in the LMP2 class will be starting first on the grid overall, which means the first 3 cars on the grid are going to be LMP2 cars, presenting its own set of challenges for the hypercars to make it past without any incident.
Wow, definitely I would love to see what will happen here on our second race after this. Definitely a great fight, a great drive by Raja Amir Shaukat, defending himself against Tasbih, which is clearly the faster car during quali just now. But he seized the moment in lap 1, turn 1, climbing from P3 to P1 and kept it until the end, despite the pressure that Tasbih has been giving to Raja Amir Shaukat, non-stop punches. But at the same time as well, Imran Rayan doing a very good job chasing these 2 people. He even attempted to overtake Muhammad Tasbih just now, just to tease him a bit. but still unable to overtake. But still a very good drive, a very good fight by Iman Ryan, our driver just now.
Yeah, drivers are getting ready to reset for the second race. I am going to reset by getting a drink. But yeah, we're going to be ended up in a position where we sort of know who is the potential winner of the championship for almost all the races. Well, except for bronze class. I'm still completely up in the air of who ended up winning that entire exchange. But of course, Tasby, one of the strongest contenders in this gold class right now, has been in the gold class for a considerable amount of time. And the drivers behind him are no slouches either. Sai Sudhakar, Kanzani Ramdani, Keith Moore, they've all been at this top level for so long that Tasby has been able to get the better of them on more than a few occasions. Raja Amiro Shaukat as well, going to be in a precarious position. He's going to be starting at P10 overall on the grid. So we're going to have to see whether or not he can make it through. He got a very, very good start. Got the jump on Tasby at race 1 and then just kept the lead all the way to the end. Going to be a different race for him in P10.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge since I would say he was quite lucky just now in race 1. And now as our drivers are lined up in the grid. Chester in P1, Ethan in P2, Keith in P3, Sai P4, Kanzaini P5, Iman P6, Muhammad Tasbi P7, Raja Shaukat in P8, Chong in P9, and Sukan in P10. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this will be our last race of the night. This is going to be the penultimate of it, and I expect a very good race, and even, I would say, a very fun race between our drivers right here and right now, as we are here gathered in the scorching hot Dubai Autodrome right now with 10 seconds left into the starting point or starting lights. Lights are going to turn red soon, and it's counting down the last race of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, the race is about to begin. Who will see? And the race is on right now. Chester leading the lap with Ethan going to second, Sai in third, Keith in fourth, Kazani in fifth, as all of them are going to approach the first corner as well right now.
Oh, I've seen this before.
Oh, it's a 3 wide. It's a 3 wide. Will anything happen? No, everything is clean and tidy. Still a 3 wide going through the S's of the Dubai Autodrome. Everyone is keeping it really clean, very tidy, no drama, no fuss yet. Chief Moff being very, very good here. Blocking right now, blocking Kanzaini. Muhammad Tasmi right now is behind Kanzaini as well. Raja Amir Shaukat is side by side with Iman Ryan going through the banking right now. Should be going to the straights. Who will be getting enough speed or power going to the straights right now? Raja Amir Shaukat is right beside Iman Ryan. Side by side, Aston Martin versus Blinkenhouse. Straight power. Who will break first? Who will get their positions as they approach the 100-meter board? Both of them break, and it seems the battle is still on. It seems Iman Ryan can't do much since the BMW is in front of him. Aston Martin gets the inside, gets back the position, pushing Iman Ryan to the outside, telling him, that is my position, give it to me. But Iman Ryan is not giving up. He's pushing it a bit too close, but he is unable to close the gap between himself and the Aston Martin. What a crazy first lap.
Yeah, Tasbe ended up going really wide there to try to avoid the LMP2 cars. Remember, they are presenting a special obstacle on the road that the hypercars need to navigate past. Most of the hypercar drivers have already made it through. The only exception there is going to be Iman Ryan. He has to make it through fast, otherwise he's going to end up losing the plot and losing the rest of the pack. He does make it past Ethan Lau. Chester Elong is the only LMP2 car in front of him, makes it past that as well. So now the top 6 drivers are back in their respective positions. Sai Sudhakar, however, is now way out in front. Back into the proper timeline there where he doesn't crash on turn 1. Keith Moore is now 1.1 seconds behind him. Big lockup on the brakes there from both him and Kanzani Ramdani as they're entering turn 1. Mohammad Tasmi is back up into P3. Raja Amir Roshalka in P5. We'll have to see whether or not he makes it past and tries to go for that 2P win, both race 1 and race 2. Kanzani Ramdani there, we can see that he's definitely a lot harder on the brakes than most of the other drivers on the grid. I don't know if that is because of the car itself, whether it's because of the brake bias, but he's definitely hitting that pedal really hard.
Yeah, he has been pushing. We have seen him doing it in quali. We have seen him doing it in race 1, where he really pushes the brake to the limit of that Ferrari. You know, with smokes coming out whenever he's braking. But now he has lost the position to Mohamed Tasbih just now in the previous lap, and he is unable. He's sliding a bit. Just now, and we can see Sukan taking over from the inside, but no, losing back on the outside on the switchback to Savin just now. Great driver, Savin. Definitely a good switchback. Sukan did not manage to secure that position against Savin just now. But now Ahmad Jusmin looking on the inside of Sukan. Sukan not being able to close the inside, but still holding on to the outside, keeping his position right here and right now. Ahmad Jusmin will not give up. He has still one more chance on the banking. Will he do his move there? Muhammad Shakir Fitri has overtaken Azim, I feel, just now, and Muhammad Shakir, look on the inside, would like to join in the party as well, as these cars are fighting. 4 cars going through the last corner of the Dubai Autodrome. Will anything happen on this corner right here? 4 of them are keeping in line, in check. A bit of a drift there, I would say, a bit by Jasmine. But now we back to Raja Amir Shaukat, looking on the outside of Kanzaini. Kanzaini still hard braking on his Ferrari, punishing the brakes really hard. And right now, Raja Amir Shaukat is keeping a 0.2 second gap between himself. Now we're back to Samir Prapachop, fighting against Denzel, right in the white, sorry, I can't see. Sorry, no worries. We'll go in here, and Savin right now pushing his car to the limit, trying to find Mama Shakir. Seeing an opportunity here, looking inside, outside. Will he be able to close the gap? And he is trying to take over the inside. Ahmad immediately closed the door, not giving him the opportunities to do so. These 4 cars are fighting really hard, going through the straights. So far, nothing is happening yet. The gap is still quite safe. Everyone is keeping a quite safe distance between themselves, but I may speak too soon, as Savin keeping his nose close to Denzel, going to the outside, hard braking. Will a switchback happen? Yes, it's almost close there. Denzel going side by side. Denzel has the inside line, getting back his position, but Savin would not give up. He's looking back on the outside, trying to do another switchback with Denzel, but Denzel keeping it very nice and tidy, not letting him taking over the opportunity. And now we're saying it's a 3 wide. Raja Amir Shaukat doing almost a double overtake. Will he be able to complete the double overtake? He went a bit too wide there, going to the line, cross the line. And last corner, Kanzani going to the inside. Scared Raja Amir Shaukat a bit, making him lose control of his Aston Martin, giving him the space. And Kanzani got his position back. Iman Ryan joining in the party, going side by side with Aston Martin. These 3 cars are keeping it close back, going through the first corner. It's going to be a 3 wide. It's going to be a 3 wide. Kanzani in the inside, Aston in the middle, Iman Ryan in the outside. Still side by side. A bit of a body contact there, but Iman Ryan unable to finish the move, letting Aston Martin, or letting Raja Amir Shaukat to keep his position, and Raja Amir Shaukat unable to finish the move, giving back the position to Kanzaini at that race just now. Wow.
Yeah, he actually made it past Kanzani Ramdani earlier on before we cut to them in the exchange that they had. Meanwhile, further up in front, Tasbih has actually made it past Keith Moore as well. So Keith Moore is now down to P3. So Tasbih is going to be chasing down sides to the car. 3-second gap. They've got about 8 minutes and 50 seconds left in the race in order to make that gap shrink. Kanzani Ramdani there, we saw how he uses it. He's very good at using intimidation and using that mental game in order to force other people into making mistakes as well. On the flip side, he also is prone to making mistakes of his own, as we've seen earlier. But Raja Amir Shaukat, he might be a bit phased by that, but not anymore. Now he's back into locking in. He's forcing Kanzani Ramdani wide out this time. And as they're entering into the bank, left-hander here, he is pulling alongside Kanzani Ramdani as they're entering the bank. He's going to have a bit more speed on the outside, but Kanzani Ramdani brakes really hard. Scrubs out a lot of speed, not enough, however. Kanzani Ramdani is now stuck on the inside there, being pushed away. Raja Amir Shaukat going even wider than he did the last lap, but he manages to put himself in front of Kanzani Ramdani, and Iman Ryan is also trying to do the same thing. Kanzani Ramdani is still holding on to that P5 position, but he lost it to Raja Amir Shaukat, who got such a massive run out of going wide there. He took complete advantage of it and then shut the door on Kanzani Ramdani as they're out of the start-finish straight into another lap. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. Kanzani Ramdani now has to do the exact same thing that Raja Amir Shaukat just did to him last lap. Raja Amir Shaka, meanwhile, has his view firmly placed in front for the cars in front of him. 4.5 seconds is the gap. Will he be able to shrink them down within the next 7 minutes?
Definitely, Raja Amir Shaka will definitely feel the pressure as he's not only facing one, he's facing two cars trying to get his positions. And despite the gap, I would say, there's no car in front of Raja Amir Shaukat, I don't think he will be able to concentrate really that well, since those two cars were the cars that really pushed him to the limit just now and even pushed him to make a mistake. And definitely he won't be forgetting about them really soon, as now these three cars are still fighting. Kazani probably pushed the brakes a bit too hard there, or trail brake a bit too long, slightly losing control, but he still gets to keep his position. But it does give an opportunity to Iman, looking a bit on the opportunity, keeping his gap close with himself and Kanzani right now, and giving a bit of a breathing space to Raja Amir Shaukat to be like, okay, so far he made a mistake, I can run away a bit now. And Iman Ryan is now like, okay, you're next. He's looking on the inside, keeping it very close. Kanzani not able to hold the speed that well there, as Iman Ryan keeping it very close, closer and closer, going through the last corner. Will anything happen on this one? So far, they're keeping it very tight, but Iman probably has a chance to get a grab between the car in front of him, which is Kanzani in the Ferrari right now, as they're approaching the first corner. Iman peeking on the inside, probably just to invoke a reaction about Kanzani, and Kanzani reacted to it, going on the inside, and Iman Ryan stayed. Probably what he did was just to invoke a bit of a reaction from Kanzani to see if he really will react to every, he's trying to play him mentally. I think what they call is that, mental game or psych wars kind of thing like that.
Yeah, and again, Kanzani Ramdani is going to be paying for it a little bit there. You can see his brakes have been constantly on fire since the last lap there. I've never seen them go gray or lose any of their heat. Not sure if they're going to be experiencing brake fade at this stage in the game, but 5 minutes left in the race. This battle between these two cars are slowing them both down, giving Raja Amir Shaukat the space to just run away with a 1.2 second lead ahead of him as they're out of the back straight. Iman Ryan trying to sneak up again on the back of Kanzani Ramdani, see if he can make a move on the inside. I know what you said earlier about them, Iman trying to psych Kanzani Ramdani out is definitely correct. Kanzani Ramdani did the correct course of action, put himself in the middle of the lines to make sure that he couldn't weave back in to the dive on the inside, which is a very good defensive move for him. But Iman Raya now knows that he's immediately reacting to situations like this, and now he's putting himself in a position where he's really vulnerable to attacks from either side of the course, inside and outside. And you can see Kanzani Ramdani completely psyched out by Iman Ryan there. Great mental attack from Iman Ryan, but not holding on to the lead just yet. That banking really gave Kanzani Ramdani a lot of exit speed to hold on to that lead, as they're still locked in this absolute dead heat as another lap ends and one more begins. However, this time, Iman Ryan is a lot closer to Kanzani Ramdani than he was last lap. They're pulling alongside, side by side now. We'll see Kanzani be able to hold that line on the inside. Ooh, okay, still locking up on the brakes, very hard on the brakes this time, but blocking Iman Ryan out of the exit angle that he really wants to take to get maximum speed out of it. And again, out of all of this situation, Raja Amir Shaka has completely run away. 2.5 seconds. These two cars are just fighting and defending against each other, and it really ends up slowing them down. The gap between them is going to be substantiated by the fact that Chester Elong is about 13 seconds behind, and Ethan Lau is going to be even further behind. Out of all the current hypercar drivers, Keith Moore does not seem to be in the race anymore. Probably end up retiring a bit. Oh, there he is. He's in P3. Why am I blind? Anyway, Keith Moore is very comfortable there in P3. Raja Amir Shaukat has not really been able to narrow this gap down. It's been about 3 seconds since the start of the race up until this entire exchange between them and him and Kanzani and Iman, which is still ongoing, by the way. It's been 2 laps, almost 2 laps, and they're absolutely breathing down each other's necks. Iman Ryan actually does have the entry this time around to pull alongside a little bit ahead of Kanzani Ramdani as they're entering into the bank corner right now. Being on the outside does make sure you get quite good exit speed, but Kanzani Ramdani, holding strong. Iman Ryan tried to dive on the inside to make that pass back, not being able to hold on to it. Iman Ryan, I think he's really starting to get impatient now.
I think definitely Iman is giving an all because he knows the timer is running out soon. He needs to do something. He needs to sight Kanzani out as fast as possible, forcing him to do a mistake. As right now, both of them are on the inside of turn 1. Iman going on the inside of turn 1, even going deeper. Kanzani taking the outside. Will Iman be able to complete his move right now? It is a switchback. Kanzani pushing a bit Iman out and forcing him to slow down, getting back his position. Iman is definitely not happy about that. He will keep pushing the Glickenhaus as much as possible against that Ferrari. Iman is giving an all-out psych attack to Kanzani, and if I were to be Kanzani right now, I would be super duper stressed with the pressure that I've been given by Iman Ryan right now, as because of that pressure, Raja Amir Shaka is able to run away as smooth sailing as fast as possible. But Iman Ryan right now is giving all out. He's giving it all of his attack out to Kanzani. Kanzani will definitely feel the threat. Kanzani went to the inside, but Iman went to the outside. Who will break first? Kanzani do a switch.
Oh no, they're both gone.
Oh no!
This battle has taken a toll out of both of them. They both end up way too late. Kanzani turns inside to try to avoid going wide. Iman Rayan ends up just completely barreling it down into the runoff area. And we're right back where we started, ladies and gentlemen. After an entire exchange, both of them spinning out, but because the lead they commanded over the driver right behind them, which was of course Chester Elot, was so massive, about 13 seconds up until this point, it really... The only biggest losers were them. That's all I have to say. They both psyched each other out. One of them drove straight, the other one drove in, and none of them made the corner properly. And after all of that, with 1 minute left in the race, we're right back exactly where we started, with Iman Rayan still bringing down the net of Kanzani Ramdani. I don't know how their tires are doing. I don't know how their brakes are doing. They must be absolutely on fire right now. The rubber has probably melted off the entire of the slicks of both cars. But we are still 30 seconds in the race lap. This is going to be the last lap. This is going to be the absolute last effort that both drivers have to keep making in order to keep their positions. If Kamzani Ramdani loses concentration for even a split second, Iman Rayan is going to take P5 away from him, because this is the only battle that we have to look forward to right now, because out of the cars in front, all of them on their last laps, very, very much locked into their position. Science to the car is way out in front. Mohammad Hasbe is in P2 again. Keith Moore in P3 with Raja Amir Shaka in P2. Completely happy and content to deal with the fact that he's not part of this entire exchange. Kanzani Ramdani still now extending the gap to from Iman Rayan a little bit more. 0.3 seconds instead of the 0.1 they were at earlier. They're not going to bungle this corner again because they're not under the same amount of pressure, but here comes Iman Rayan hard on the brakes again. Smoke billowing out from both cars, the Glickenhaus and the Ferrari here, coming into the final set of corners. They're in the final sector right now. As you can see, Side Studio Car is just about to reach the final corner and finish the race off in first place. We will be panning to him in just a second, because this battle between these two cars have been going on for the past 4 laps. 4 non-stop laps of complete action as Side Studio Car crosses the line in first place. Of course he does. As long as he doesn't crash, he wins. Mohammad Tasbih there in P2, 2.3 seconds ahead. Here comes Iman Rayan. Ooh, big slide there on the exit at the second to last corner. Misses the entry. Iman Rayan does not have the power or the speed to make up that gap anymore. He's going to have to go for one more big dive. Not able to do it. The gap is just too wide at this point. Half a second down onto Kanzani Ramdani. Holds on to P5. Iman Rayan unable to finish it. Closes off in P6. Chester Elok, meanwhile, on the other hand, first in the silver class, they're comfortably ahead of Chong Jin Bin in P1 for LMP2.
What a battle between Iman Rayan and Kanzani. Kanzani, I would say Kanzani has a very strong mental power. He definitely defended like a lion, not giving a chance for Iman Rayan to do anything to him at all. He kept defending against his push one by one in each and every corner, and he defended like a lion. Great job by Kanzani, but at the same time, we need to give kudos to Iman for those non-stop attacks. He is being every driver's nightmare, a nuisance at the back, just giving pressure and amount of pressure to the drivers in front. Great job to these two drivers, but because of those two drivers fighting, Raja Amir Shaukat managed to run away safe and peacefully.
Yeah, off the back of those both back-to-back P2 finishes, Mohammad Tasbih is almost guaranteed a pretty decent chance of winning the entire championship again. So he is probably going to be very, very happy with himself but the other drivers, of course, are going to be more content with the fact that they drove their absolute hearts out, managing to put up a battle all the way until the end. Raja Amir Shaukat, they're going to be really happy with that P4. Keith Moe as well, after a relatively disappointing first race, has pretty much redeemed himself with the P3 position. Sai Sudhakar as well, again, from dropping down the P20 in lap 1 up until all the way into P1 for race 2. Great drive from him, and that pretty much wraps up our season 18 of Global Edition. My throat hurts like
My
crazy.
throat hurts too.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane that the last race of the season, of course, the one with the highest amount of stakes, is also one of the most contentious ones we've had this season. Absolutely great driving, and it looks like we're going to be able to have an interview with one of the drivers, with Muhammad Tasbih as well. So we're just going to cut over to him in just a second, but I just want to get your opinion on what that race was like for you. As someone who's instead of racing, he's commentating over it.
I would say it was crazy. If I think I would definitely, I love the battle between Kanzaini and Iman Ryan just now. I think whatever mental training that Kanzaini did, I would like to have it too, because I don't think I can handle that much pressure, especially by Iman Ryan, where he just teases him left and right, inside and outside, just telling him, hey, I want your position, and I'm going to tease you about it. But Kanzaini, being very, very persistent, defended himself against Iman Ryan's attack. Very well crafted, very well driven as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we're going to cut to the interview now with Muhammad Tasbih. Tasbih, congratulations on the double P2 finishes. I think you did very, very well over the course of the entire race. How do you feel right now?
Feels good. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, feels good. I think this race was all just about being cautious, especially race 1. Once I was P2, I knew there was no point fighting Raja, who's not really my championship rival at that point, so just hang on to P2, and then same for the second race. As much as I could have gone for P1, I think it's just about playing safe and just bringing the car home for the points.
Yeah, of course, because we've definitely seen what happens when you don't play safe at the back in the entire kerfuffle at the back there. Yeah, so I was about to ask you about the race 1 when was it that you decided in the middle of the race that you weren't going to try and chase down Raju?
I think with the Balas, I think about halfway in the race, when I was behind him in the slipstream, I realized it's going to be really hard to overtake him, and it'll be quite risky. And I think Kamzani, right, he's the one who's closest to me in the championship, and he was in 5th, so I was like, there's no point me and Raja fighting right now and then possibly losing position to others. So I think it was just about playing it safe and coming home in P2 was the play.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, you've raced with these guys pretty much very, very long period of time now. It's a few seasons at least. So how do you feel the dynamic between you guys have changed over the seasons?
I think it's been quite a while since I joined Global. I think the last one was Global Edition Season 9, and then now it's 18. So there's a lot of new names which I haven't raced with before, and it's definitely a lot trickier now to overtake, especially reverse grid races are a lot harder. So it's all about just racing long term instead of just focusing on the short term goals. It's just about bringing the points home every round. So I think that's what's changed for this year, is just bringing the points home every round.
Alright, so we're tabulating the points right now, but I think you are pretty much locked for the championship win this time around. So early congratulations, I guess.
Thank you.
So I mean, yeah, as if you mentioned before that you haven't taken part in the last 9 seasons right now, how does it feel to just come back and just like blitz everything?
Feels good. At least I know I'm not washed yet. Still got some pace in me, so yeah, feels good. Thanks to you guys, the commentators and everyone organizing behind the scenes. You guys don't get enough congrats, but congrats to you guys for making this happen, and happy to have participated.
Thank you, man. Also, yeah, great race from you from both sessions, and I mean, I hope to see you next season as well. Of course, it's always been a treat to have you see you driving.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, thank you so much for having this interview with us, and again, great race. Congratulations, and well done.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So that was, of course, Muhammad Tasbih from Singapore, who we were just talking to, and we definitely feel like he definitely has some opinions about the way that he ends up driving, but of course his driving speaks more than his mouth, right?
Yeah.
Put your foot where your mouth is, and let's like just really show everyone else what you can do. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up
Yep.
Global Edition Season 18. We've seen all 4 classes race, and I hope you guys absolutely enjoyed it. It was a blast to commentate. I can barely talk anymore. My throat hurts every time I make a noise or an inflection in my throat. But yeah, thank you so much for you guys who have been watching since the first race of the season, and it is definitely my honor and privilege to bring you guys all to the end of the season instead. Yeah, it's been a trip. What are your final thoughts?
I would say it's definitely a great race seeing these guys drives from round 1. I would say from round 1 to until round 4 right now. Great drive by everyone. Definitely salute. And I hope we get to see these drivers joining another season in the future as well, to keep giving us these amazing battles as well. And to the followers, to the people that are watching our stream, thank you so much for the support. We hope to see you again for the next season. If you haven't followed us on our social media, please feel free to do so. Please do like our live videos as well, as every like or every support that you show will be very meaningful for us. And I'm also grateful to be partnered with the people here as well, with Damon as well, to commentate together in our last race today.
Yep. And with that, that is the end of our Global Edition Season 18. Announcements for the new Global Edition season will be coming soon, so stay tuned. Check out our socials, and of course, eRacing GP brought to you by Sunway X Park, Royal Selangor, and of course, Axel Sports. My name is Damon.
My name is Amir.
And we are signing off for tonight. See you around.